Yeah. Well, yeah. Hello, everybody out there. Hello, 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 hello. I am
We should be
waiting.
live.
Oh,
No,
we're
where's?
live, yeah.
There it is.
Yeah,
There it is.
yeah,
I got
yeah.
it. I caught it. It gave it to me. Hello, everybody.
Yeah, we're
Come on in. Have a seat. Get that cup of whatever you're drinking, and let's talk funny books.
yeah, funny books and the people who make them, who are a bunch of loons. That's us. A bunch of lunatics.
Funny books and the funny people that make them.
Twisted individuals that make them. Um,
We have three. Hello out there. Welcome aboard. We're letting other people get into the room. Please make sure you leave an empty seat between the both of you when you're sitting there in the room. Uh, uh, the new term that you're sick of hearing by now: social distancing. Jesus, if I hear that again, wish I had $1 for every time I heard that term today.
you need to distance yourself socially. Hey, trust me. I'm socially distant enough.
Even the news station, the TV station's news that I listened to made a big deal about how they were now more than 6 feet apart from one another. It's like you were always 6 feet apart from one another. You don't like each other anyway.
Yeah, I think I have to work with.
You always look at everybody funny, and it's part of the fun of watching the news.
If I have to work with that guy one more time this year, I'll. How's everyone doing out there tonight? We hope that you're doing well. Hope that you're healthy.
Come on
This
in,
is
have a
this
seat.
is Indie Vault Live, and we are going to talk about comics right after our intro. That's right.
Jump
I'm gonna hit it
on,
right
jump in the chat.
now. I'm gonna. All right, here we go. I'm gonna roll the intro.
You're gonna be the one doing what?
Yeah,
The
that's
the
right.
opening.
Yep, here we go.
Not too
That's
painful.
right. Hmm. Did you say it was not too painful? Hello, everybody out there. My name is Varian Grant. I'm the co-owner of the last 8 years,
Shit.
Last Call Comics, and founder of Indie Vault Media LLC. Started making comics way, 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 way back in 2008. First book I published was a black and white interior action comedy called Psycho Cyrus. I'm a father, a husband, a geek, a creator, publisher, reluctant taxpayer, artist, social distancer, and now uh, also a sensitivity reader. Shamefully not in that order. And you're watching Indie Vault Live. Tonight I'm joined by, as always, Lola. No wave, no wave. Oh, she did wave, okay.
Small wave. Small wave.
and and Mr.
She's
Zim.
lagging. She's lagging. Uh oh. Hey, everybody, I'm Randy Zimmerman. I am an alternative and independent comics publisher that has been around for a long, long time. Done a lot of freelance work, done a lot of self publishing work, done just about every job in independent and alternative publishing that you could have, including publishing editor in chief. Haven't been a um, sensitivity reader, so I don't know if I qualify. I'm not very sensitive.
Not yet. You haven't. You haven't.
Not yet. I'm empathetic, but
You
not
haven't.
much sympathy.
Yeah,
Anyway,
socially dis-
I am an
dis-
award-winning commercial and graphic artist, and I am currently on the Zim Geek channel on YouTube and here on Indie Volt. So, thank you and welcome aboard.
Y'all ain't doing nothing.
Remember not to sneeze on your neighbor.
Try not to think that neighbor.
Try not to sneeze on your neighbor.
I think that I've got about. Let me see here.
I ran across a great video on how to use your elbow for sneezes. Actually, how to use your neighbor's elbow for sneezes.
They don't want us to do that. They're just saying sneeze into something else, like inside your shirt or something. Keep all that.
They just want you to contain the virus as you sneeze it out. That's all, because you can shoot it out at up to I think it's 3 to 6 feet
Yeah.
when you sneeze.
Um. So everyone has had some type of issue with this virus, whether you're out of work, whether you're out of work, you can't go get supplies,
or
food, you
or if you're
can't
out of
find,
work,
you can't find toilet paper.
if
To
you're out of work.
yesterday, and Randy told me, and he announced it officially today, that he has had to, like many others, um, reschedule his convention that he holds
Oh, I
every.
didn't. I've officially postponed it. I've
Yeah,
rescheduled it. So if you go to reschedule it over to the fall, you're gonna butt heads with other butt heads that have also rescheduled their spring show and decided to throw it in the fall. That bumps right up against the other shows that are there in the fall. So good luck. It's
yeah,
going to be a very interesting fall.
yeah.
That's that's if the fall shows don't get postponed and we're all jammed into next spring.
I've
So
seen a bunch of shows all rescheduled for almost the same exact weekend in
yeah,
August,
yeah.
and it's like it starts to make you wonder if these conventions even, the promoters, like, do you even care? Like, they just gotta get show up. No, 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 we have to. And it makes you also, makes me question how many of these conventions are kind of hanging by a small thread. Like, they have to do a show this year. The promoter
Well,
cannot
if
go a
they do,
year.
they're doing it wrong. So if they do, they're doing it wrong.
Yeah,
So I feel real bad about stopping the show, especially since I don't have a fall show in Flint to fall back on. But
mm-hmm.
there's another fall show coming up in Flint, and I think it's on that same August weekend that everybody else is rescheduling their shows. So we'll see how it goes.
It's gonna be ridiculous.
We have to get to August first, so
Yeah, I mean, how do we know? We don't, and let's be honest here with everyone. We don't know if those shows we don't know if August shows are going to be good to go.
yeah.
We don't know that. We hope, I hope the July shows are good to go. But
Is this gonna burn off over the spring? Is it gonna burn off over the summer? Is it gonna come back raging in the fall? And we have to look at all of this whole mess all over again. So
yeah, you know, um, it's definitely something that I mean, when it comes to this business, anyway, you have to. I mean, there's going to be at least, I think, accounted 4 shows in one weekend in August, and these are 4 shows that I've kind of gone to, I believe.
yeah,
So it's like, how do you pick as an artist where you're going to go? Sure, I could send the wife somewhere, and I could go to a show, and maybe get a friend to go do another show, but I mean, you are really, stretched really thin, and that's a lot of money to give up for tables.
yeah.
It's not these
That's
tables that haven't gotten any cheaper.
that's what coins and dartboards are for.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what
yeah,
that is. But even on a big time established show that has postponed and moved into that weekend, how do you know that you're going to make the revenue back that you made at the show when it was at its proper date, for one?
hmm,
And for two, how do you know that that show isn't going to be bumping into the show that you would have normally done on that weekend because that's a good show for you?
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Are there going to be any good shows in August? I don't know
And
because
two,
everybody and their brother is going to be throwing a show in August,
yeah.
except me. Except me.
I also wonder if people are going to be able to remove, like, oh, we rescheduled, so book your table. I can't. I got another show that weekend. Oh,
Yep.
well, sorry, you lost your money. We're not giving you any money back.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
I don't understand how I'm not getting any money back. I'm gonna need that cash back. um, but it's gonna be a rough year. 2020 is gonna be a very
Oh,
rough
it's going to
year.
be a real interesting year, to say the least. I know I'm already down.
Yeah,
So the revenue at the show plus the teaching gigs,
yeah,
that was a large pop.
yeah. It seems like they've adjusted the sounds to the pops. We getting what you guys don't hear is there's an alert that comes in, and it's super loud now. Yeah, I think they've actually changed the sound. I'm gonna actually ask them to change it to a light chime, like something that's like something pleasing to the ear. But you guys don't hear that, but we do. So, um, Rob says, "So they sneeze into your elbow, then rub elbows of people."
That was a
What?
funny video though that I
Yeah,
saw.
yeah, have you done any of that? Have you been out in the streets, Randy? Have you gone out?
Oh man, I was traveling all day today. I did all my running early this morning.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to go get the oil change. I was going to go to the market because in order to talk about the show, but they sent me an email and said, "Hey, don't even bother coming in because we don't want to see you."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Well, okay, if that's the way that you feel about it, then
Well, you're completely frozen. I'm gonna have to.
refund my money." What?
Well, it's
Lola's
completely
frozen?
frozen for a second.
She's just not moving.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Might have to reboot. But no, I had to run some errands this morning. So yeah, I was out. The traffic was a little thinner than usual, but other than that, it was okay. I haven't been to a grocery store or anything yet. Monica went, I think it was Friday or Saturday, and things were absolutely nutty. I think it was Saturday. She did some running around on Saturday and got us stocked up. So, I mean, it wasn't to the point where we were hoarding stuff, but if we don't go out for the next 3 weeks, it's all good. So
Everyone's computers is giving them issues tonight.
it seems that way.
Yeah.
Everybody's bumping and moving
I'm,
and bumping and moving.
I'm watching Josh's camera, and it's just blinking in and out and in and out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably Josh, though.
Let's see here. Well, are you gonna log out, and come back in? All right. All right. Hey, Josh.
Josh,
Hello.
So, Randy, did you notice how eerie it is out there? Like, is
No.
it quiet up there? No.
not really.
Business
I was
usual?
honestly, I was surprised that there was the amount of business that there was. So
Really?
when I was out later, yeah, all the businesses looked normal. Everything looked like it was running normal. The McDonald's was empty, but the McDonald's up the street from me anyway is being refurbished. So they're not letting anybody into the eating area anyway. It's all drive through.
Got a question here from Indie Volt Radio.
Awesome.
Very early, and I want to thank Indie Volt Radio is right now the best, the best start we've ever had.
Well, that's because everybody's indoors,
Yeah, there's-
waiting to hear something that is remotely entertaining. That's all.
They're stuck indoors, and I'll tell you guys another little small. Once I say this number, I'm gonna tell you guys something. A bad part about having this large number. Right now, we are being listened to on Indie Volt Radio by 5,321 people.
Amen.
5,321 people listen to Indie Volt Radio
We
right now.
appreciate each and every one of you.
That's pretty awesome.
Now,
Thanks for listening in, folks.
now the problem with that is, the only reason I knew that is because I got an email here from the hosting service that hosts the radio. They just told me that I need to possibly maybe think about a better plan because I'm using too much bandwidth.
Mobile device not found.
Oh,
Ready to connect.
Are you talking to your Alexa again?
no.
No, that's my my headphones. Sorry, guys.
Okay. But yeah, so there's a I need to update the plan because so many people listening now they consider that bandwidth usage. Which
You're
is
going to
fine.
have to buy more bandwidth? Is that what you're saying?
Basically, yeah, that's what they want me to do. They're
We
not-
still love you. We still love you all.
yeah, we're here for you right now. Don't worry about it, guys.
We're
So,
glad
yeah.
you're here.
Eh, screw it.
So are you guys now, Randy? So you've canceled your show. I've had a couple shows canceled on me. Josh, you've had a couple shows canceled on you. I'm
A
sure.
couple shows. It's funny.
Are you?
Yeah, no. Every single show, with the technical exception being MegaCon, which I'm sure they're going to announce on Monday with their big announcement. But yeah, every single show for March and April has been canceled and postponed. And touching on what you guys were saying a few minutes ago, yeah, it's gonna be interesting because everything's scheduled on in August, May, and a little bit of June. It's gonna be entertaining to see what happens.
From Indivo Radio, the question we got it was from Hector. Hector says, "Do you think it's best to come out as a show promoter?" And Randy, this is more geared toward you as a show promoter. With we canceled our date. Here's a new date before saying, that is it better to say that than just to say, "Hey, we're postponing the show"? Do you want to give them a new date? Is that crucial?
All depends on if you're postponing it to August,
Mhm.
you might want to push that date as much as you can. I'm just telling folks now we're postponing to next year. I believe our date for next year is April 17th because I asked for the third weekend in April as long as it's not Easter weekend.
Mhm.
So, and
So
the market's pretty open to me at the moment. I think they're just that right now everybody's in crisis mode so badly they're all chasing their tails. So
as a artist publisher, I appreciate anybody coming forth and saying, "Okay, we've canceled our show.
Mhm.
I understand why you canceled it." Um, and not only that, but I would appreciate a date that okay, here we moved it to this day, so I know. Do I have anything to do? Should I do that show?
yeah.
But that might just be me. Josh, you do a lot of shows. Is that something that you appreciate, or is it something that you even care about?
So I think the number one thing that a lot of people aren't really considering right now is not so much, hey, has the show been canceled permanently until next year or being postponed? It's how far away is that postponed show going to be for the show for next year?
Mm.
So people normally, most people end up going to, let's say, 2 shows a year, maybe 3 or 4 if they're kind of like avid fans. They don't go week to week like we do.
Mm.
And if you schedule your show and you move it into August, and then you're like, oh, by the way, next year we're still doing March,
Yeah.
people
I,
aren't going to have that money, especially with the sensationalism of the news that's been going on lately. So I guess to actually answer your question directly, I think I would prefer if a show reached out to the people that had paid for this stuff first. So like if we're the artists or the vendors or the writers or guests, whatever have you, reach out to us first and go, just so you know, tomorrow we're going to be announcing this, that we're going to be canceling or postponing the show
mhm. There, there are
because of what's happening.
there are some places that haven't had any outbreaks yet, or haven't
Well,
reported any
I mean,
outbreaks that have canceled shows.
yeah, and that's kind of where I'm sitting here. And it's like I've seen what's been going on in Michigan and I've seen what's been going on in Boston and everything else like that. And it's just I think this year is going to be interesting because almost everybody who's on the circuit is going to get worn out real fast because instead of having our normal 1 week off or something, it's going to be 13, 14 shows in a row.
Yeah. Randy,
The ones you keep for this year.
when you got the call, you were expecting it. You were expecting it to happen.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
shared some information with you last night, and it's public, so I can do it. Where a hotel
Mhm.
told if and I'm sure Josh, you're familiar with WrestleCon. They travel behind WrestleMania and they do conventions that have they bring in current and former wrestlers from all over, people to meet. A picture of Comicon, both wrestlers, and Eric Houghton, who may be joining us tonight, normally does that show. And they go around. So if WrestleMania's in in that area, they're
Yeah.
there. Well, WrestleMania said nope, we're not doing it. WWE said they're not doing the show there, and not in Tampa anyway. They're gonna go down to their performance center and do WrestleMania, which excuse me, it's gonna be a very weird WrestleMania. But they told so obviously WrestleCon should be canceled. Well, the email Marriott gave him said, no, we can still legally do the event, and you get nothing back. And I think the damage is, Randy, was that number like 145 grand?
I think it was 114,000.
Yeah, 114.
Maybe it was 140,000. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
which was 80% of their projected profit for that, for their projected earnings for that show.
Right, this hotel rooms and
Yeah.
how much they were gonna maybe sell on alcohol and everything. They want their money. Um, I would like to think that anybody would understand the plight of a promoter right now. So without getting into too much details, Randy, you obviously would have had a fit had that happen to you. Like, oh well, we were projected to make this amount of money, so sorry, Mr. Zimmerman, you can't have your money back.
Well, that would be a matter of getting at that point. lawyers would automatically have to be consulted.
Yeah, I would automatically look at the actual contract that you signed with the hotel firm, because a lot of them include that automatically in now.
Yeah,
You're like, so you know, if we don't hit this, we're authorized to do this.
yeah, I seen that in a clause in a contract I just signed. Let's see here. Rob
In case
says
everyone's forgotten the grand old Stan Lee Nerdtacular New Year's Eve.
nah. I remember hearing about that. Rob
Tell
says
that,
rumor.
tell that
People got
story,
locked
Josh.
out of their rooms.
You said tell the story.
Tell that story, Josh.
So I was actually I was at one of the few cons that I went to where I was just visiting. I was visiting a friend, and he was like, "Hey, I'm in town. Just drive up. You can crash with me." And he was doing an event at the event. And for those of you who don't remember, and just for a refresh, Stan Lee's Nerdtacular New Year's Eve was supposed to be the first Comicon that was going to go through New Year's, and you were going to be able to ring in the new year with the namesake, with Stan Lee. They would do a roast, and then everybody would be like 10, 9, 8, so on and so forth.
Right.
And they had a few complications with a bunch of people canceling, but this was in Dallas, Texas. And due to these last minute cancellations, unfortunately, just everything just went to pot, and not in a good way. And to the point where they had filler people for the roast. Like the only people that were of any quality were like, there was Michael Rooker was there, and there was a couple of the guys from Clerks, the girl from that's the girlfriend of Dante, so on and so forth, and then Dante himself, and pretty much everybody else was. Honestly, I don't really know who they were. The comedy and the roast weren't really there. It was very clear. Like, oh, I know you're Stan Lee. You invented Spider-Man. And they had technical issues. Like, they actually had to put a speaker right next to Stan because he couldn't hear them. And he was 3 feet away from them. He's like, I can't hear what you're saying. It's reverbing through the speakers. Yeah. And it was 20, 30 minutes in. Anyway, so all of these issues happen. Then come it's New Year's. It's the beginning of the year, first day of everything. And people go out of the room to go get breakfast, and they come back and they can't get back in their rooms. And then they found out most of these people, including the guest cosplayers, guest actors, everything else, they've been charged on their credit cards for the full standard rates. For that hotel, not the discount rates. Yeah. So everybody who was just had to have a credit card for the hold of deposit, whatever have you, be it what they were making was very little, just tanked. It was to the point that several of the actors, because of all of this, discovered that they didn't hit Stan Lee's quota with his agent at that time, and then that said agent proceeded to cancel all of the appearances for Stan on Sunday. So it was almost like a sinking ship at that point. So everything just kind of went just bad. There were so many other things that went wrong, but it was kind of ludicrous. Just everything that happened was just a giant cluster. So when you look at these kinds of situations with hotels where they're like, hey, we get the rights to charge you for this fee regardless, that's probably what would happen. Is like in this case, they had a contract with the con saying you were going to give us this many rooms. You didn't give us those many rooms, so everyone's getting charged standard rates. But then the con, instead of paying for that, ended up everybody else had to play and fight the corporate line of the hotel separately just to get their stuff.
Most when you sign most contracts where you're going to do an event or book a block of hotel rooms, most of them have an impossibility clause in there, which is, hey, I can't do the show because these things have happened, and you're supposed to be able to get out of it. But now I guess they don't. And I know in that particular email they told him no impossibility clause for you. Rob said rumor going around is that bill will go away, and he's a Florida native, so he's currently living there. As it was Florida that shut Mania down, and Tampa doesn't want the show, so Marriott is in trouble with Florida, and that's a lot of money that's being lost. Randy, what are just projections? I don't know if you want to say that. Your show brings in people to that market, that farmers market.
Yep.
How much do you think that farmers market is going to lose?
I hate to guess.
Wow. So they're going to feel it too. They're going to feel
Yeah,
it because
it's in the tens of thousands, I would imagine. Yeah.
Yeah.
They've already got a restriction where basically they can't set up.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but now that the CDC has gone into hyperbole mode with 50 or more people versus 250.
Yep.
yeah. You know, I
Like I
was
was saying, they don't even want face-to-face meetings anymore.
yeah.
A lot of these corporations are just nope. But if you can't talk to us over the over Skype, then we'll just have to reschedule after all of this is done.
Yeah. Same with and I mean like here in Michigan everything got closed down. So I'm convinced that
Not
this
not
video
everything yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if within the next week they do. Shutter in place, especially if our numbers go up.
yeah. Um Oddly enough, I was in the store. There's still stuff that is less. Rob says it's 10 or less CDC guideline. Yeah.
10 now?
Yeah.
Since when was this? This morning?
Yesterday. Yeah,
Yesterday,
yesterday. Yeah.
I was like yesterday morning at like 10, it was 50.
Yeah. Yeah. Um
At least 10 o'clock Texas time.
10 or more I've been wondering if it's because they started saying, okay, listen, 2 and 50 have it. Now it's okay, 1 and 10 have it. We're gonna find out like by Thursday it's gonna be, listen, 1 and 4 people have it, and that's when I'm clearing my house out. Everybody get out. Either
Yeah,
I
right.
have it.
They're super worried that we're gonna turn into Italy. Is
Yeah.
what it is, because Italy has had a drastic problem.
Yeah.
But
Italy is
their medical system over there is completely different from ours, also. But
Theirs is a social.
well, they're way they have way back. Their medicine hasn't advanced a whole lot since World War II, actually. But their facilities especially. But they're an old country, and their population skews incredibly old as well. I think they're the oldest country, the oldest population in the world.
I was just
Amazing
told
what a
that-
lot of carbs and wine can do.
Yeah.
I was just told
So their death rate has been exponentially high, and their medical facilities are low. So they're having a rough time, and we're trying to keep that from happening here.
I was just told to
And our testing
pull up.
hasn't been for nothing. They're just now getting enough tests out there to start really testing people, where before they were only doing like 175 a day, I believe, all throughout the country. That's way too few.
Right. I was
We got
told
a
to-
book.
I was told-
What's
so I
going
was told
on
to
here?
Talk about this here again. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Who
Why-
told
why?
you that?
So
I didn't
why?
tell you that.
I was told on Indie Volt Radio actually to discuss
Andy Volt, what do
yeah,
you think of this? We
Yeah.
think it's awesome. Why? What do you think of that? So,
$371,000 backers, 3,022 backers. So that's basically
I see the little green line is all the way past backing, and it's been on for how many days?
2 days.
oh, he went past that green
Was it Sun-
line in,
was it Sunday or
in an
Saturday?
hour. He was.
I
past
figured.
Sunday.
I'm just being slightly facetious.
Actually, he was past that. He was past his minimum in 15 seconds. As soon as he opened up, he had 40,000.
Do you guys think that he can give us a loan?
His first renewal. No,
He could
I
stimulate the
doubt it.
Indie Volt economy very, very quickly.
No, but it does show you how the potential of the capital for comics is what that does, and also you can really study this campaign for as an example of what to do correctly, because he's
Yeah,
gone
like
through
do a compare and
learned a lot.
contrast and what moved and what didn't on the last
Yep.
one.
Yep.
Oh, Randy,
He's learned a lot. He's and he did a lot of different things this time as opposed to the first one. Everybody learns. You do a campaign, you learn from it, and your next one's better. And your next one's better. You might not make as much money, depending upon the quality of your product, but your campaign will be smoother. Your delivery will be faster. Everything you hopefully learn from your mistakes.
Right. And that was actually from Thomas, and he says he just wanted to show us that so we could see a comic book that is convention cancellation proof.
Well,
I'm confused. Doesn't Ethan not go to shows as much anymore?
No.
not as much as he used to. He has attended a couple in the last year, but
Yeah, I think like New York,
yeah,
right?
don't
New York
don't
and Emerald.
don't mistake this book as being convention proof, because every time Ethan goes live, that's a mini convention. And he's talking to more people there than what he would talk at a normal show
Joined
or
by Eric Hodson.
at an
Sorry.
average show. Huh?
You just got joined by Eric, Dreaded Dinosaur.
Dreaded
We're
dinosaur.
joined by the legendary, the dreaded.
This can
And
well, maybe what Thomas means is that Ethan's not going to feel the cancellations of cons.
No, he's not. He's not. But
No.
he's already.
I feel like that would be saying metaphorically the equivalent of, like, oh no, Todd McFarlane, how's he going to survive?
He's already socially distanced himself from everybody anyway. He talks on his microphone and has built up an audience over the last couple of years.
Eric,
So he has his own like little conventions every time he has a podcast.
Eric, you were on the Slick Jimmy's
Yeah, that was some fun last night.
last night. Yeah, and you actually won.
I did.
Yeah,
Good
yeah,
for you. Congratulations.
I'm confused. What's a Slick Jimmy?
He's another one of the guys who hosts a nightly draw stream.
Oh, is this the
Yeah.
cheesecake thing you were talking about?
Yeah.
I might have been stalking other people's feeds,
Oh, were you?
just ever so subtly.
Cool.
I didn't see yours, admittedly.
Oh, well, here.
Yeah,
He's like, "Let me help you." Oh,
he
he's
shared that. He did it. The last night was cheesecake. Cheesecake.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh.
I saw those words, and I was like, maybe later. I was working, just prepping stuff off.
Eric, is that a new monitor?
Ready Comics has a 25% off right now on metal,
Oh, sweet.
15 and
Just
10%.
when I don't need it.
Right? Exactly. Well, it's like right when you've already ordered it, you know.
Yeah, we don't.
Other shows.
Well, not just that, but we don't have any shows to go to now. So Stocko, is that? It looks like a new monitor, Eric. Or is your camera positioned differently?
Camera's just a little wonky.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't have his light on either,
It's not on full blast.
which isn't it great? It's like, it's amazing. I'm not being blinded by the light.
There you go. There you go. Now that's the right light. Now you like Tom Cruise.
Okay, let's see.
I think it's fine as is. I finally downloaded the OBS. I'll have to try and integrate it onto my Surface, but my Surface only has the one USB slot last I checked, so that might become an issue.
Bring the image up, Eric. So I can show it. There it is.
It's coming.
Here it is. Here
Okay.
is the Batgirl that Eric did.
Oh, that was you. Interesting.
There's the
I
Batgirl.
saw that on my feed. For some reason, I
She's-
didn't think it was yours.
Is she flipped now? She's flipped.
Yeah, this is the flipped one. You know, I never when you flip it in Clip Studio, I didn't know that it doesn't export.
Flipped.
Yeah.
Yeah, there they are. Yeah.
Yeah, there we are. That's better.
That looks pretty good. So
Yeah.
it's Batgirl hulking out.
Pretty much. Yeah, the whole theme of the show was pick another superhero girl and give her gamma powers.
Gamma.
See what the result would be.
Eric, tell us
Yeah.
about how you've been affected by the cancellations.
He has
And
to
what are
stay
you
home.
and what are you doing to
I
eating
well,
people?
my gosh, I've discovered drinking again. I rock back and forth in the corner, not knowing how I'm going to pay my bills in April. It's just been a transformational process.
Yeah, I would assume that the I've been to your neck of the woods and I've seen these liquor shelves. They are barren. Really, it is though. I mean, obviously, we can come together and kind of joke about it. Randy had to cancel his show, so that's one more show for me.
The Anchorage Con just canceled, so now I have nothing going on in April at all. And they're going to go with either an October 31st or a November 1st. I don't know. I'm like, all these shows are canceling, and now they're all just going to try to push themselves off to the third quarter, and it's going to be a toss-up.
Yeah, because how are you planning on picking what show you're gonna do in August? That fateful weekend in August.
see if my wife can get off work, and if we can manage it, we'll do both. But like with Steel City is now like a month or two away from their normal June show, which is kind of ridiculous. I mean, I
feel
would
like
think just do the
mine-
June show, not so close together, but whatever. And yeah, and then we got Planet Comicon with some new dates came in too. So
But they did one thing I did like about their email is that they've provided the option that we can just choose to go into 2021 with the show,
yeah,
which I think honestly I haven't made my choice yet, only because I'm waiting to see what happens with MegaCon on Monday.
Yeah, are either of you guys concerned? And even I guess this goes from Randy too. Are you concerned? And Josh brought it up that now there's going to be we push our show back a year. Hey, we'll see you guys back here in 8 months for next year's show. And now no one wants to come back because they're like, well, I was just here 8 months ago. The timeline is going to be a little. It's going to be wonky, for 2021 especially, because these shows canceling have ramifications into 2021 as well.
hmm
I think it's ironic that the term canceling became trending prior to this. We're going to cancel somebody.
Cancel culture, all right.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what I think is ironic. But yeah, Eric, go ahead.
I didn't have any specific thought in mind. I was just
He was just asking you about, hey, how do you feel about it? Like, do you think that that's going to be a problem for 2021 as well because of the pushback for this year?
It's going to depend on how we rebound. We have an election coming up too. There's just so many things up in the air. We could rebound extremely strong, and or we could just go into a malaise recession, and people are gonna. I think what this is also putting people into a mindset where I think we've maybe gotten over the hump of the panic buying. I don't know. I know the shelves are still bare, but we're also having a problem. We don't have enough truck drivers to deliver all the stuff that's at warehouses. And so maybe we're over the hysteria hump, but we're going into such a long period of time that people are getting trained to think differently. So they may prioritize their spending in the future, on a large scale. So
less on the entertainment industry.
Yeah, less on us since we're completely disposable income only. And honestly, I think it might be long-term good for the industry because it's forcing a right sizing. It's just going to be, how do we survive with whatever we're dealt with?
Randy, there's a question for you there.
For what?
There's a question for you there on the
Hang on,
screen.
I'll jump over.
Yeah.
JH, thanks JH for writing in. Corona virus shut down my local comic book shop. The owner doesn't want to take the risk of getting any germs around his sickly in-laws. Well, that makes sense. He could still hire somebody. He could be watching over the in-laws and hire somebody at a base rate pay to run the shop.
He can go and buy himself a giant Rubbermaid trash can and just put it over him. Futurama style. You're like, put the money in the sleeve.
Yep.
With the Lysol spray can.
Randy, when you ran a store, well, you were managing, right?
Yeah, I ran the store. Yeah.
So, like, was it with shutting down? How long would it shut down of a comic store? How long would it take to affect you as a shop owner?
It all depends upon the day of the week. If it was on New Comic Book Day, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Because then you're chasing away your business, especially if you have any type of competition in the area.
Okay. And how about you, Eric? And now you've got what kind of precautions are you taking to stay? Because both you and I have compromised immune systems. So us not being at Comicon, it might be helping us. It might be. What do you think about that?
I thought about this a few times, and it's just remembering to do the things that we're taught as kids for the most part. Wash your hands and practice good hygiene things. Just keeping that up, and then just being cautious of what such scenarios you're putting yourself into. Going to the grocery store and things of that nature, where you could come in contact with larger groups of people. But honestly, when you look at the facts of this thing, I mean, this is a 98% survival rate on this. We have not had panic buying and a recession for worse things.
Yeah.
I think of N1H1 and swine flu, Ebola. So far those death tolls were much higher. It's not really on my radar I'm not even a paranoid type of person, but just I'd say bottom line is the common sense practices stay in the brain. Outside of that, it's, user discretion.
Lola, are you concerned? No, not concerned. Not concerned. She, yeah. She had a doctor's. She had a medical scare. She went out and she came back and she started, wasn't able to breathe correctly, and she was having like labored breathing, and at the hospital decided, when you come up there, there's no relatives, no relatives, no family members in the back with you. You go back by yourself.
Well, they don't want anybody to catch anything.
And they are also asking that the emergency lobby be held to, please, if you don't have to bring people, don't. So
Which makes sense on the level. Hey,
it does. It does. So she, she went, by herself to the hospital, and she Ubered up there, and she was told to come back home. They didn't test her. They said that 65 and over and a temperature of 103. That's what they're looking for. Those are the magic.
Well, there's only so many tests that were available. That's the problem. The tests are being mass manufactured now.
Yeah.
They might actually have an entire million tests by the end of the week, and 2 million by the end of next week, 5 million by the end of the third week is what they're saying.
And then everybody will be cured.
The full story on that is crazy because the CDC started making its test.
Yeah.
CDC started making its test. The test failed, and because the CDC had like a government-run monopoly on being able to make these tests, one of the things that the president did was just clear out all that red tape with declaring this a national emergency, so private labs can now participate, and that's how we're getting things going faster now.
Right.
Well, that's good.
I seen another question from Indie Vote Radio, which was as indie artists, independent artists, just period. Do we feel it's disingenuous to have sales and whatnot during this whole pandemic? Does that seem kind of bad? Like,
can you clarify what you mean by disingenuous?
well, I'd have to ask the
That
person
doesn't
who wrote
apply to the situation by
yeah.
its grammar definition.
Yeah, who wrote in. If I had to take a guess, maybe they're saying should we be running sales, or should we just like?
Do you think maybe they're saying, do you feel like this is more like a cash grab thing, like people are expecting pity because things have been canceled?
Maybe if we look at it from that standpoint, do you think that's bad? I mean, we are being affected. Poor Randy couldn't get a Whopper today. It was horrible. He has to kill.
Oh, you're very
Why would
funny.
you
I
want
could
me to
have
Whopper?
gotten a Whopper. I always get them through the drive-through anyway. But not that I want a Whopper. I wanted a Whopper today. I had plenty of food to eat at home.
So if I pull away the sarcasm for just a moment, if it's saying, I think I kind of get what they're saying when they're saying, is it disingenuous to run sales because of all of the events being canceled? I kind of get what they're saying in the sense of like, it feels like, oh, it's just taking advantage of the situation and making people feel bad for them. I don't know. I wouldn't really say that. I think it's going to be, once again, it comes down to, hey, the distance between the shows, once they postpone them for this year to next year, it's going to be the same problem. These people are already planned to spend their money on, commissions or prints or whatever have you for these shows, and they're going to buy them on your sale. and then you're going to be later on, at the show, they're going to come see you and be like, man, I love those pieces. It really sucked that your show got canceled. But then they more than likely won't buy anything, unless they're getting commissions in that case, or you have a bunch of brand new art between the 2-month, 3-month delay. Yep. So from my perspective, I feel like it's not so much disingenuous, or it might be advantageous. It's smart. There's a lot of people making virtual Comicons and virtual events and tagging all of their favorite artists and things like that. And it's really awesome to see everybody come together. But simultaneously, it actually creates more problems.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
We've been joined by Anthony.
How we doing?
Hey, how's it
Good,
going?
man. It's good seeing you,
Y'all,
buddy.
it's good to see Randy still alive. Man.
He's alive.
At high risk. He's at high risk out there, but it's good.
I'm
Oh,
not
man.
that high risk, buddy.
It was terrible. He was gone 1 week, and I had to read all the comments. It was terrible.
Yeah. I put Josh and Randy. I put Josh and Randy.
There you go. That wasn't me that was having the problem, but
Yeah.
I was the daughter had a medical emergency. So.
We're all just having fun, dude.
What's the situation down there in New Orleans? Have there been any cases down there yet?
Everybody's scared. Everybody running.
Are there any cases down in New Orleans?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think we're up to 150 right now.
Yikes.
Of people sick?
Yeah.
How many people are sick with the flu right now in New Orleans?
The flu. I have no idea.
Yeah.
No,
That's
just my point.
Yeah.
I mean the whole. Yeah, I mean it's look. Yeah, I don't know what to say about it. All I can tell you is that I'm not sick.
Yeah.
That's about all I can tell you. I ain't.
Are your schools still open?
No.
I know they went through and cleaned out Bourbon Street the other day.
Yeah, man,
made
that's a
national
trip.
news. Yeah.
That's a trip, bro. That's a trip because they were down there. Johnny White's is a famous bar. They were down there for Katrina, bro. Just no power, just in there drinking and getting loaded and shit. They didn't, So they gotta run them out of there because if not, they're just gonna stay there. They just, that's how New Orleans is. They probably have a good time. They're not the brightest, but we have a good time,
And you're shoulder to shoulder down there on Bourbon
I
Street.
do at least. That's how they get. That's how they get wallets and stuff.
Yeah.
Cigarettes.
Cigarettes. Yeah.
I know it's a sore subject. I was trying not to bring it up.
Lots of beads.
So Anthony, your book, God's Hand, you completely funded. You didn't do Ethan numbers, but you funded. I'm just kidding.
I was close. I was right there. We were going neck and neck for a while, but he pulled away on me in the last minute.
You know what? Too, I want to show you guys something. Later, that Rob brought to my attention, and I know he's if he's watching.
He's lurking, I'm sure.
Yeah,
He's
I know
lurking. He
Rob
watched
is
it a
lurking.
second ago. Yeah.
I'm wondering if Pixel is lurking too, because Rob showed me another one of those Facebook crowdfunding trackers, and this particular tracker it got really in depth. It showed you like how much money a person made that day, like bar graphs, and they got this dude where they figured out they were able to show. I think he only works at Kickstarter though. They showed where he went in and funded his own book. And like at the last minute, like on the last day, he funded his own book. But it's only for Kickstarter. But it's like he made $1,800. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know if you can do that with kids. Are you talking about like funding your book at the last minute to make sure it gets funded, and then you can pull the funds out at the end?
I guess so. Yeah, I guess that's what he did. Yeah. And I was really amazed by people doing that. But Rob called the guy out, and you know what Rob does. He stirs the pot, and he's been ridiculed for it ever since. But I was gonna show you guys that because it's like, oh, I don't want to run a Kickstarter. What if I threw $50 in there on my own just to say, hey, let me help put myself over the hump, and then people come after me. I
don't think 50 is gonna get you in trouble.
Now, if you like send the money to a friend and then have them back it and then have them pull out and give you the money back.
That's I mean, that's what I heard. I've heard people pull that shit where they'll have people come in and put the money up other than themselves and still pull it out at, just to get it
Yeah.
funded.
Yeah.
Just pull it out at the end.
That I can understand.
What?
No, I give it to a friend. Give it to a friend to do. But like, hey, Eric,
Well, he's talking about something different than what I'm talking about.
Eric, here's $600. Go.
Well, I'm just saying, yeah, go back my book for me, and then at the end we're going to cancel it just so we can prove that our thing is.
Yeah. Yeah, I would.
Varian,
Yeah.
the live broadcast has expired on Facebook.
Has it?
No.
You know why?
We said the words.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
What words?
We
I was
said,
wondering why we dropped in viewership.
yeah, we said the C word. They've been
If
going
you guys
around.
hadn't noticed, there's
Did
been
Facebook send you a
severe
notice?
reduction in
Let me see.
literally all commentary through Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah.
They've demonetized literally anything that has speculation.
That's crazy, man.
On
So
especially
crazy.
some of my favorite YouTubers are going, "What the heck? I mean, what am I
That's
supposed to
crazy,
talk
bro.
about on a news show?"
Yeah,
Because I had a couple of comments up there. They're gone now, too.
They
Yeah.
took
They pulled
They-
the whole video.
they took down my comment about Idris Elba, and having
I
No,
really-
now it's back up there now. It was down for a minute. Now it's back up.
Again, we said the dreaded C word,
Must have been.
so inhibit your flow and your distribution.
I shared an article from AP that was fact checking something the Democrats running for president have been saying that was a lie, and it was AP, Associated Press.
Yeah.
I got flagged for a service agreement or service terms or whatever. And they also took down my buddy's GoFundMe for his funeral, which I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, they're taking that, but apparently some people see Lola, yours is down. So Lola's is up. We'll see how it shakes out.
Mine is up.
Okay.
It's back up now.
I do have a
It
question
wasn't
for you
up
though.
before though.
So Anthony, you've got you're moving ahead on your book, guys.
Mhm.
So I know you had planned. You had to push it back a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah, now with the coronavirus, it's probably pushed back forever. Oh, I was supposed to say the C word. Sorry. With the C word thing,
Yeah.
it's probably going to push me back 5 years, maybe 10, something like that.
He's got to go to a couple of concerts to get his mojo back.
There you go.
Maybe buy a car,
All joking aside, I'm looking at about a 3-month delay. That's what
Okay.
I'm looking at. Probably in the next 2 weeks will be, because I'm waiting for Andy to get the cover together. I showed you guys the layouts for it. Yeah, the roughs for it.
Mhm.
We're gonna go with. I showed you guys number one. I got him moving ahead on that. I think what I'm gonna do is I have a. I'm gonna debut this as well. We're gonna make a exclusive trading card limited to the first 150 backers,
Mhm.
which will be free, which will be signed and limited. That'll be kind of our appreciation for people being patient with us.
Right.
And so then we're going to open up our stretch goals and everything like that, and revamp everything and start pushing again. I got pages coming out with Jesse coloring it, whatnot, so we'll start getting those up. So we should be back on track.
Cool.
Are you? There we go. I put it up there so people can see it. God's hand. Yeah, you funded. You're not in demand anymore. Are you in demand? Are you?
I'm pretty sure I'm still in demand.
Okay. I didn't click it. So
I want to be doing the book. If not,
Yeah.
What's that?
No, you
I
would be
would
doing the
be
book
doing
if you.
if I wasn't in demand. No,
Yeah.
I'm just.
I hear you.
It's all good.
You got and now have you updated everybody on the
Check it out and
page?
see if there's one up there, because I updated. I thought I had sent one today.
Okay.
Check it.
I will do that.
I don't know if it did to everyone or just to one, because I actually engaged with someone today.
You did? No, last thing I got
No.
is December 7th. Yeah, you got to get up
Okay.
there and let them know.
I'll have
People-
to. Yeah. All right.
People get to jump up and down. You didn't get my book. I'm gonna go down to New Orleans myself.
Well, and you know what? And they should. And there's nothing. You can't blame consumers for wanting answers.
I can't.
So there's, well, I mean, you can, you can. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Watch
But in the grand scheme of it, it's like, of course. And I've had two one guy, unfortunately, he lost his dog, and they had to pay vet bills and whatnot. And, he asked for a refund. He got a refund, and then today I got inquired about just what was going on, and I just told him basically what I told you guys. And I guess because I'd never done it before, I thought that it was replying to like all,
Everybody?
but I guess but I guess not. But that's all right.
Now,
So
so both you and Dreaded Dinosaur, it's weird calling him Dreaded Dinosaur. I look at him and say that's Eric, but
You can use. It makes you feel better.
Oh, he's so nice.
yeah. It just
Just don't
you,
look him in the eyes while you use his real name. He
there's
was Twilight Shimmer, but now it's Dreaded Dinosaur. It gives a little bit more oomph and sparkle.
did you you both have crowdfunded books, and now, Eric, can I announce what the bit of information I got from you last night while I was listening to you on Slick Jimmy's?
If you want, I said it publicly, so whatever it is, I must have said it.
He is 4 pages away from being complete with his book.
Complete as in I don't have any more drawing to do.
Yeah, it's out of your hands in 4 pages.
I'm still flatting pages though. I still got to finish flatting them.
All right. So yeah, you're down 4 pages. That's you're nearing the end. I mean, because that was a pretty big project for you to tackle.
Yeah,
you got.
Kick my butt.
How many pages? I'm sorry. It chopped
50.
up a little.
yeah,
52.
chopped up.
52.
Too.
And is that you or the Roddy Piper?
That's the Ruddy Piper.
Yeah, he's
Yeah, I'm itching to move on and start doing some more projects. I really once I got in the groove, I just really enjoyed drawing comics again, and I just want to move on and start the next book and get back to my Dreaded Dinosaur webtoon and just keep telling stories. And that's the silver lining for this is it's pushed off. Well, I don't have to do this, and this I was planning to do for this con, and this con. So I've got time to get this thing finished and to start up some new projects. I'm learning the Godot game engine before I go to bed every night, doing tutorials and stuff, because I'd really like to make a video game someday. So it's, as long as I can keep some semblance of revenue in to pay the rent, it's giving me a lot of time to catch up and do some things I've been itching to do for a while.
Sorry, my dog decided he wanted to bark. He must hear something. Now, Anthony, now that I know that you have. Oh, somebody said something in the comments. I'm sorry. We've been ignoring the comments. I'm sorry. Oh, test. That's what it was. Are you?
Yeah, I threw that in there because nobody's talking in the comments all of a sudden.
We're being shut down everywhere. Do you have anything that you're working on besides? Because you're still doing some stuff on God's Hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, anything after this, or you started moving to the next project? Because I was telling people that my book when I first started drawing it, I took the story apart because I realized there was more story to the origin, and so I stopped working on what was originally issue 1 to add an issue 0 in there. So I was wondering if you had started working on any project outside of God's Hand yet.
No, I mean basically, me and the editor that I have right now, Marcus Degisu, he's writing a story which takes place in the same universe. And what we're trying to do is he's getting ready to launch his, which I'm helping him create that. On the heels of that, I'm just gonna move right into the second arc of the story for the God's Hand, and I'm just basically gonna keep moving on to that. I wish I was. I'm getting to the point where I swear I don't know if any of you guys feel like this, but I'd like to get to the position to where you can then, and I wish I had the money to do it, where you can bring in writers and other artists and say, look, here's the arc, here's the points, this is what I want you to hit, this is the story about this character, do it, and let them run with it and go with it, and still be in the same universe, still be in the same type of thing, but have it like you're saying, having to go off in another direction and stuff. Yeah. While you're still, because I just can't keep up with myself. That's the problem. I'm gonna tell you right now, if I could, as much as I like to draw and stuff, if I had the money, I'd probably hire artists. Straight up, I just can't keep up with myself. There's no way.
I have the same problem. I've got decades, probably enough
Yeah,
material
straight
for
up.
just Dreaded Dinosaur Man to fill a couple of decades. And I would love to have a bullpen and a team and tell a lot of these
Yes.
stories. And it's aggravating. It's like, because I've tried working in studio environments and I've been burned all 3 times
Right.
by people who are terrible business people, terrible at scheduling. And it's just, it always falls apart, either because of ego or because
Right.
everybody thought it was just going to be a big cash cow and they didn't have to actually work harder or whatever reason. And it's just so frustrating to have to always be a one-man band because you can't count on anybody to get anything done.
No. Yeah.
Thank you for dashing my dreams.
Yeah, dreams dash. By the way, I noticed Lola is in all the green tonight and celebrating St. Patrick's Day, and no one today has told me Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, Barry.
Yeah,
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Gotta love your Irish heritage, Barry.
yeah.
Get yourself
Black
a dark
Irish.
charms there.
Yeah. Did you hear that?
I heard. I ignored it.
No, there was something.
You can't use that word. That's our word.
Well, our beloved local and state governments have banned, so we can't fully support this holiday like we're supposed to.
There's gonna be no fighting and no sleeping and no nothing. If I catch you doing any of the 4, then they'll be held today.
No merrymaking of any kind.
Yeah.
Only good soap watching and prayer. It better be days of our lives.
Okay. Randy, you're gonna take over for a second. I gotta search something. Something's going on with my dog. I'll be right back. Okay.
Sure. That's what they all say.
Randy,
You gotta
you're the
run.
boss. You're in charge.
You're gonna throw a
Oh,
question.
Jesus.
You got a question to throw up?
I do, but it's a question aimed toward me. But let's see.
The question is, what is your dog doing that's so important?
Yeah, what's
He
your
is
dog doing that's so important?
Freaking out, and I think there's a critter in my vent. Yeah, I think there's like a possum or raccoon in my vent.
Oh my gosh, it's on your head, man! Get it off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See,
there it is. It's on
You
your head.
never know. I'll be right back. Let me go check.
I think he's saying
in
that
the meantime, here's what I do. I'll bring up. 1 second. I'll bring up this. I'll give Randy something to gush about.
Gush.
Yeah.
Gush.
Gush.
Yeah, I'll give you something to gush about. Here we go. All right.
Did we lose the ability to comment? How are we looking on Indie Volt Radio?
Indie Volt Radio right now, we are sitting at 6,200 people
Wow.
listening on Indie Volt Radio, which is
We appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much
yeah.
for listening in. Especially, huh? Especially
Especially
since
good.
we've been so entertaining today.
There you go.
What'd you
All right.
talk about today? Nothing.
Cyberfrog, Wrecked Planet, 371,110 in what is that? 2 days? 3 days? 2 days.
Jeez.
About 2.5 days. Yep. Just goes to show you what crowdfunding can do. Little build up a reputation, build up a site, get an audience on YouTube, and you don't have to worry about the conventions or apparently the retail shops. So
I was going to say, yeah, I've never seen a single issue of this in stores or anywhere else. It's all been private consumption.
yeah, he has
That's
offered
exactly it.
retail packs, and he's told retailers if they're interested to get a hold of him, and that he will be more than happy to give them a discount privately.
That's nice of him,
Yeah.
I suppose.
Well, it's probably the best work he's ever done because he freaked out when he hit $500,000 on his first book, so he decided he better do a decent product. So he took a little extra time with it, which is one of the many reasons why he was late. So
Yeah, the artwork is ridiculous. I seen some of the details, and I'm just like, nah.
Yeah,
I'm not doing that. I'm just like,
He
no.
always did detailed
I mean,
work.
I tell you
before,
what.
but this
If
is-
I was
this is
getting, I'll
really
tell you
good.
what. If I was getting $500,000, I would.
That's it,
I'll give him
exactly.
that. Absolutely, sure. If I was pulling numbers, yes,
Yeah.
I'd go ahead. But I'm just like, man, there's no way. I mean, I look at some of the details.
Tell
like,
the
I'm like, man,
story and be done with it.
It's a very
ridiculous.
interesting story if you sit and if you think about it and think about where his head's been at the last couple of years. So it's pretty obvious where the story's coming from.
I just think it's bullshit. That you have issues with getting into stores and stuff like that with all this. I don't know. I don't know if any of you. I mean, I've gotten into it a few times on Facebook and comments and stuff like that. And it's so backwards, man. I mean, it's ignorant. It's just ignorant.
Yes.
You have
it
people
is.
saying things. You have people saying things, and you really have no clue what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know, and I told this one guy, I was like, dude, I said I've watched videos, I've listened to hours of it, I've sat through boring ass live streams and this stuff. I'm like, I've listened to all this shit. There's nothing. You're saying Richard C. Myers is alt right and all. It's like none of this is true. None of this is true. You're repeating, you're repeating essentially bleeding cool talking points. That's what you're doing. You have not one time looked at any of this stuff. Crude, rude. Yeah, sure, absolutely. You don't like his artwork? Great. You don't think his story's good? Awesome. Tell people about it. But this whole thing of he's alt right and all this kind of bullshit, it's like that's all bullshit. Nazi. I mean, I got into it with this guy. I was like, Nazis. They're like, bro, they ain't been Nazis since freaking World War II. What are you talking about, bro? And he's like, well, yeah, well, and I'm like, yo, man, I'm like, look, unless you out there murdering Jews, doing shit like this, stop calling people Nazis, man.
Matt
You know, you
Lawson.
want to call them white supremacists and all that shit, that's fine. But you got a guy, you're lobbing this stuff out there to a guy who's never claimed this stuff. And there's no proof of any of that stuff.
His critics were throwing anything that they could at him, you know, because he was making so much money. Money does strange things to people.
Matt Hall said people are pathetic, and
People are
that's,
pathetic.
that's true. Man. People can be pathetic.
Right.
Now I got a question. I know that Eric, you back books from all over, but I
Yes.
gotta be honest with you. And have you backed books on Kickstarter?
Yes, I have.
Have you gotten them?
Yes, I have.
I'm having a bad experience. My first book on Kickstarter, I have not got it yet. It's more than a couple months late. But I do know it went to the printer last month. I was according to the update. Went to the printer last month.
You know, there's gonna be delays for a lot of these books that are just hitting now just because of the supply chain.
Yeah.
You know, how long is it gonna be till we get overseas printing back? Because I think most of it's pretty much,
Yeah.
you know, not happening
That's
right
one
now.
thing I had to shift gears on that because that's what I couldn't find prices as good here as I could overseas. And it's like, and now that's shut down.
Yeah,
where
that's one of the.
I'm at, it's like, well,
That's one of the things we have not been able to address yet. Is we're doing the research now, trying to see what we can get. You know, because pro wrestling tees, they're the ones who are going to be footing the bill for printing this thing, but we're still got to do the responsible thing about lining up and getting this print ready and ready to go, and you know, find a few different printers that they can choose from and get quotes and stuff like that. We still got to do the legwork, and you know, even in places here in the States, they're going to be they'll be swamped. You know, a lot of places are going to be swamped, and then some places may not even survive whatever this is right now that's going on. If they end up going belly up, that's less to pick from. And you know, there's just so much uncertainty in the market.
right.
I was told 2 weeks ago, for some books that I have sitting over in China right now, that my books won't even start moving until late April, and that's optimistic.
Jesus.
So that was their optimism, and that was before anything happened here. Nothing had happened here yet. So now, you know, now I'm really screwed. Randy,
Well, this problem sprung up really the first time Trump started talking about tariffs from China. That's why Kraken got into the problem that it did. You know, and folks should have known, you know, to really try to keep their printing as close to home as possible. There's
With those
one thing
savings,
about
Randy,
saving
those
a lot of
savings.
money, But there's another thing. There's a whole different thing about convenience and getting it, brought to you in a timely manner. Plus, none of these quotes that you get from these printers are in stone. All you have to do is take that quote, especially if you get to know the printer a little bit. When you take them to lunch, and you go, here, I've got these 2 estimates from these 2 other printers, but I want you to have the job.
Right.
You think you can match these prices?
That's also how you
Correct.
get the diamond.
That's how what? No, you have to take the guy out and get him sloshingly drunk and get blackmail photos in order to get him. That's a whole nother story.
Sorry, that's quite facetious. I'm sorry.
Do what you got to do.
Oh, you were kidding? Oh, okay.
Randy's like, oh, of course. Kidding. Yes.
They're using prison
Yes,
labor to
kidding.
pack the boxes over there. It's nothing is far fetched.
That's
Yeah.
That's where they're at Memphis. So. Only 3 miles away from the penitentiary for your convenience. Anyway,
Then you wonder why the books are. You can imagine if someone says, you get like a little slip between your comic books. I know what your story is.
help me.
Help me.
I'm innocent.
Start
Call
getting
my
threatening
lawyer.
letters to your comic store.
Call my lawyer, please.
So L. Nolan took me to task.
Al Nolan,
And he
buddy,
said,
should always take you to task.
He
Go
did.
to it. Go, L. Times of trouble, you go to L.
"Yeah, go ahead, Randy. You can read it."
Where's that doc about Arrow you said you're making, Varian?
I'm
You were
working
making
on-
a documentary about Arrow Comics.
Yeah. Now
Yeah,
coronavirus.
yeah,
Listen,
yeah,
you have to
yeah.
understand something.
Yeah.
You have to understand.
See, what had happened was I took
Yeah.
it and my wallet was in the washer and all the credit cards got bent when they went in the dryer.
Now he's got a varmint in his ducks.
Yeah. I got to worry about that. On top of that, I want you to understand something.
You see, my wife's trying to kill me.
I need you to understand something, L. You have to look at. I have to be careful now with the coronavirus because most of the Arrow guys are elderly now, and I can't. What I don't want to do. is
The
look
answer,
around-
L. Nolan, is it's going to be coming out soon, right after his next book project is finished.
That's
He
right.
started 8 years ago.
That's right.
Yep. I know he's shot a lot of film for it. He's just got to a lot of video for it. He's just got to trim it down.
Yeah,
Well, when he
gotta be-
started, it was Super 8. It went into VHS and Betamax, and now it's
Damn.
it's on these fancy CDs.
Keeps changing formats all the time.
I don't have to take this from you
It'll
guys.
eventually be coming out on a crystal.
It's gonna be
The laser disc this fall.
Yeah,
laser
but
disc this fall.
it's gonna be it's coming. I am working on it though, and I am worried because now I had planned on, if you listen back, Al, I had said I was gonna start filming in April. That was my plan, and now I was doing like the big interviews and stuff in April. Now we're gonna be locked up in April.
If you weren't so hung up on using that song by Nielsen, Me and My Arrow, trying to track down the rights for it,
That's right.
you'd
It's mine.
probably have the thing out by now.
Yeah. So now I have one other question for you, Anthony, because with all the cons going on now, the online cons, have you guys had an opportunity? I know no one does. You guys don't love us, but on Indie Vote, we ran an article. I will post it here. I put it up. Did you hear something, Lola? Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe it was the ghost in my house.
That was a deep sigh.
Smacked the lips. Yeah. Yeah, see, I heard it. Where is it?
Stupid
There we go.
surgery.
There it is. All right.
Oh,
So-
the Verge just ran an article on Facebook marking legitimate news articles, and taking them down, marking them as spam, and nobody knows why.
Nobody knows.
Everybody knows why. It's because they have a
There's a
faulty
world version
algorithm,
of
but that's a whole
Yeah.
other story. And
Um,
they just don't want to admit it.
We ran this on Indie Vault. Wizard World is introducing virtual experiences, virtual Comicons.
Mm-hmm.
Which is nothing new, really. I mean, people have been paying the do to watch virtual panels, or basically get be able to watch a panel online. But this is going to be, you can purchase a 1 minute video chat, 15 or 30-second personalized video recording, signed 8x10 photos, and signed memorabilia, group chats, and exclusive limited edition art.
Isn't that just Cameo though?
Say again?
Isn't that just Cameo?
Well, yeah, kind of. I like the post when I put it up. Someone posted under
30 seconds with that though.
Someone posted underneath. This is just an Amazon with extra steps. But now, from what I understand, I can't confirm this. From what I understand, a virtual artist alley space is going to be $375.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen that happen. I've seen that happen before.
What do you guys think about that virtual artist alley space $375? Look, Anthony is stuck in shock.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I'm like $375. Goddamn. You charged me fucking $200 for my Wizard World table in New Orleans, and I was personally there. I don't know, man. I'd have to. I mean, I'd have to see the numbers on that. I'd have to see. You know what I mean? I don't know. And to be honest with you, I'm content prior to investigation. If I'm honest with you, because I've never seen it. I've never seen them. I've never been a part of them. I don't know. You guys been a part of them. I mean, you made money. What do you guys think?
I mean, I've done a virtual con in that, like, we all get together and do a like a little show online, and we try to sell.
Do you charge $375?
No. We never did anything like that. Yeah, we never did anything like that. Eric, are you paying $375 for virtual artist alley spot?
Heck no.
I know one that's doing it for 50.
You said what? What'd you say, John?
I know one that's doing it for 50.
See, now
50,
that's better.
I would.
That's doable.
Yeah, you could throw your lot in because 50 you lose, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But $375. I mean, that's you paying for a live appearance. You don't. I don't know. That just seems.
How much time are you getting on your 375? Because, and again, how are they running this thing? Is it going to be a? Is it one stream going straight through, or yeah?
Milk in the
no.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Like, who's your? What's the logistics of it? Like, who's your audience? Who are you pitching to?
Here's the way I'm reading this. They have outstanding guarantees with a lot of these celebrities, and this is their ditch effort to try to fulfill those.
Yeah,
it's mostly going to be about photo ops, signatures.
I got you. Right.
Photo op. What are you going to do? Green screen me in with it?
No, not getting autograph photos, signature opportunities, sending in your crap and getting it mailed back to you with their name scribbled on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I can't see that,
man. For the things that we're trying to do, we need someone with an established YouTube audience already, someone like an Ethan Van Sciver or somebody like that, to float those types of streams to get the eyeballs. Because right now we're all kind of starting our own little pocket things with the same 19 or 24 people watching at home via YouTube or whatever. We need the bigger channels involved if that's going to be a serious effort.
What's our radio count right now?
I could see that.
The radio count right now, 6,030. So yeah, we dropped a little bit, but yeah, 6,030. Hello to good old Germany is once again in the house. Watched a documentary on Germany last night. It was not
From what time period?
It was a shyster video.
That's a polite way of saying it, Anthony.
Yeah,
what time period?
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't that. Yeah.
Was it the 40s?
It was
the roaring 40s.
Yeah. It was it was that time period. Now, it just happened to be on Amazon. I was like, oh, let's watch some history. Oh,
this sounds weird.
Marion's like, well, this looks good. Let me watch this.
This random dude just yelling for some reason. He's just yelling.
Yeah, he says his weird mustache. It's crazy.
Doing this. Doing more like. He
has some spasms in his arm. I don't know what that was.
So what are you guys doing to look at that. That's
Suddenly
the writer's plight.
Germany.
Yeah, look at the writer's plight, everyone. She's 23 pages in.
No,
41 pages in, and she's having a fit. She can't handle it. That's what happens when you try to write comic books. That right there.
Don't know where to end it or what.
No, she's already.
No, that's the whole story, actually.
Yeah, she decided she's gonna go with 150 something pages.
Between 60 to 100.
60 to 100. I'm sorry. Okay.
Maybe more.
That's the time the UFO appears and the abduction begins.
So.
Do
all
what
right.
Wes Anderson did.
What's that?
Giant frogs. Giant frogs. Oh, look. It's giant frogs raining down from nowhere. From out of the sky. Magnolia.
yeah.
It's a hell of a movie.
Eric, are you going
You
to
ever see Magnolia, Antonio? You seem to be laughing. You never saw that film? Tom Cruise.
No.
Tom,
No,
Tom
man.
Cruise's inspirational voice acting gig, like he was a motivational speaker. That was a hell of a role for him.
Yeah. It's an all-star cast. There's this big, long soap opera going on, and they're trying to get you involved in all of these deep characters, and some of them are aggravating, and some of them are sympathetic, and then
Frogs fall from the sky.
it just rains giant frogs.
My wife and I were dating at the time when this movie came out, and I'm an art guy. I love film and noir and all this. I'm like, hey, we should see this. Let's watch this. She's never forgiven me for watching that movie.
I was flipping channels on the cable, and the initial introduction popped up talking about random bizarre events, and I'm sitting there going, "Oh, okay. Well, this movie might be interesting."
Sure,
I had
Tom
no
Cruise?
idea.
I mean-
no idea what the film was about. Yeah, Cruise is on there, and who is it? Macy.
Was that
George
back
Mason?
in his hey, $20 is $20 acting period?
Yeah. But it was a Wes Anderson film, so everybody was on it. But and I'm sitting there watching it, and as soon as it started raining frogs, I said, "This is one of the best movies of all time. This is amazing."
I was watching, I believe it was a John Carpenter movie last night.
Which one?
What was it?
Bones or Boneyard?
Boneyard. What? Boneyard.
Boneyard. That doesn't ring a
Refresh
bell.
my memory.
It's an anthology movie. It's an anthology horror story.
Delicious sandwiches, though, the Boneyard.
Boneyard.
Boneyard restaurant in Telegraph, Michigan.
Right.
It's old or it's new?
It's like late 80s. Mark Hamill with a mustache.
Wow.
Damn, dog. I missed that one.
Yeah, no.
I
That's
missed
another
that.
odd one. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally missed that one. When you said Mark Hamill, I'm like, no, I don't see that one.
Let's see.
Boneyard.
Brings back so many great movies. Eye surgery. You can read scripts. Yeah, I love how I type it in and it doesn't show up. But yeah, mustache.
You might have
evil
the
eye.
name slightly wrong.
Was it a fever dream, man? I always wanted that.
Oh no, it's
Why-
on Amazon. It's just a matter of
Dream that
finding
shit?
it. It's a matter of finding the bloody thing.
Yeah, he got his
Fever
his-
Dreams. That's Charlton Heston did a movie one time called The
It
Awakening.
was
Baseball.
Sacred
Fair.
Bone, maybe.
No. It's an anthology where the director plays the framing agent. He literally looks like the Crypt Keeper.
Did he?
Huh.
There we go. Hold on.
Right
Played Luke
there,
Skywalker.
right
Blah blah blah. Lost. All right. Body Bags. I'm sorry, not Bone.
Body
Oh,
Bags.
Body
yeah.
bag.
Yeah, 1993.
Oh, you know it's no, that's funny. Every time you say that body bags, I'm like, man, I've heard this. I think I've seen it. I'm like, no, that was the name of the fictitious movie from True Romance. The guy
Yeah.
was directed. I'm like, yeah, body bags. Like, man, that was
Yeah.
the most realistic Vietnam movie I've ever seen. Body
Yeah.
bags. man.
Mark
John
Hodges is-
Carpenter trying to pretend that he's the Crypt Keeper.
Okay.
And I
Mark
I
Hodges
wish
is
I was
nice.
exaggerating, but yeah, Mark Hamill's with a mustache. He gets it on in a bed. It's basically
Oh man.
not Luke Skywalker role.
Mark,
Man.
what do you think about all these shows? Mark Hodges is the
Mark.
uh,
Oh, hi,
promoter
Mark.
of, yeah, hi, Mark. Yeah, Mark Hodges, the promoter of Grandpa's Comicon, is in the chat. And Mark, everybody's pushing their show back to August.
Hi, Mac.
Yeah, 20 the 24th, 27th.
Not me. I moved my show back to next April because
Yeah,
I knew
yeah.
it's just going to be a mess the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Um,
may be dumb, but I'm not that dumb.
Are you? I seen someone today on Facebook say, "Well, my year is ruined." There are some companies out there offering to help artists. I've come across a couple of them. I won't say them because,
They're not advertising.
they're not advertising. So, but there are some companies out there are offering to help artists with money. You have to kind of turn. You have to supply them your,
At a small carrying charge.
There may come a time where I ask you to do a favor for me.
Just enough to wet my beak.
That's it, man. It's only 21% interest.
Randy, you sound like Dracula there for a second. Is it
I
Dracula?
just want to have all of your
But I'm from Romania.
Well, you see, I need all their blood for myself. I killed all the other vampires except for the lead one. Vampires.
But you've never heard of the Romanian mafia before? Come on.
Oh, that's funny.
As soon as this whole thing went down, I went into, I'm going to watch a bunch of horror anthologies, and not all of them are good.
no.
I'll make you an offer or drain you dry.
He's secretly a werewolf the whole time.
Mark says 20% interest. I actually heard worse this week. Yeah, I heard worse.
Bet you did. I bet you did. Gouging's everywhere.
21% interest is that's like your credit card, isn't it, Lola?
I just used
Yeah,
that
that's
as a reference for my last credit card that I ever owned, which was many, many years ago.
Are you guys now crowdfunding? Apparently, we had the guy write in earlier. He thinks the crowdfunding it makes these books convention proof, but I still think there's a point where you have to get out there on the road with these books and still try to meet people. And some
No, I mean with Cyberfrog, you got 3,000 backers. That's 3,000 people with books in their hands. There's a lot more people showing up at a Comicon, certain Comicons. That is a complete new audience, but it just depends on what you want to do. Do you really want to keep going, with your crowdfunded book, or do you want to stay home more and do more books?
Yeah.
Right.
This is your road. This is your convention. This is your table. It's right here on YouTube because you're reaching how many people are listening to us right now on the radio?
Right now,
6,000 and some. You're never
We're
going to talk to
52,
that many
52,
people at a con.
Yeah.
Let alone have people sitting there actually listening to what you're saying.
Well, if we had 6,000 people handing us money for something,
Right. I think it's a
Well,
bit for it's a
You
bit
don't
of
get
both.
that at a show either.
No, I think for us it's both. I
You're
mean,
lucky
got-
to hook
you-
1
you
in
got-
10 at a show.
You got to have both though. You got to be able to be out there glad handed, letting people see who you are, but then directing them to, if you have a platform, direct them to that platform
yeah.
and try to build something. I mean, ideally, ideally, that's what for me, and it goes against, I guess it's kind of goes against the grain because, you're like, no, cons, because that's where the money's at. That's where the money's at. But with the way YouTube and the way that the platforms and crowdfunding comics have kind of come together, it's like, man, if you can pull, let's just say you start moving into $50,000-$60,000 range, like I don't know, man, like you doing, let's just say, even if you could do let's say you could do 2 books a year, 60, and you pull in 120. I mean, do you need to go to conventions? I mean, if you can go, cool. You know what I mean? Like if you can make it, great. But if they cut into your production time, you know what I mean? Like it's like at some point you're like, you know what I'm saying? Like the game is changing in a way where I don't think anybody can really see where it's going, but it is changing. It is altering.
Quite honestly, if I can use this moment to pivot and just live off of, and I'm not even talking about 2 books at 50 grand, maybe 2 books at 10 grand, and my needs that I use the revenue from Comicons is fully met.
Right.
I would love the luxury of picking and choosing the shows that I really want to do.
Absolutely.
Maybe 3 a year,
Sure.
just to be in public and keep pushing
Correct.
the thing, and then sit on my butt and draw at home in the studio and churn out those 2 or 3 books a year.
I'm
That
in
would be
agreement with
wonderful.
that. I'm in agreement with that.
Mark says that we have posted a post for our fans to support artists, considering that quite a few artists are in deep doo-doo right now. And then he also says a lot of these shows scheduling to August have to do something. A lot of them just can't refund the deposit they have already collected. And Mark, I don't think of us. I have to send that to you, but like the Marriott situation, they want him to pay 114K.
80% of their projected.
Yeah, because
billing
the
that
city
weekend.
canceled all the shows. The city said don't do anything, and they're like, no, we can still do it. We can still do your show. I'm not going to a hotel. I refuse. That's a germ factory. That's like walking into like no. I'm walking to that petri dish. I mean, like I don't like going to hotel rooms anyway. But now
How old are you, Variant?
I'm gonna be 38 in a couple days.
Oh, come on, bro. I mean, you got like a 0.2% chance of dying from it.
Dude,
I-
change your diaper and shut
Take
up.
one for the team, man. Shit.
He's
Let
got
us
a
know
lot-
how bad it really is.
I do
He's got
got
a lot higher than that. He's got a damaged immune system.
I got that bad music. So I'm gonna. I know it's gonna kill me. No, it won't kill me. But what it will do is it's going to probably cause me some intestinal distress. Um, I don't have. Here's the problem, guys. I just don't have testicular fortitude to get COVID-19. I just don't. I don't want to get sick. It was a Mark says what show was that? It's a wrestling show called WrestleCon, and Eric is usually at that show. Not this year, of course. And that's one
Yeah.
of his big money shows.
I wouldn't say it's a big money show. It's a big networking show because you're shoulder to shoulder with the wrestlers and promoters and stuff. So that's how I got a lot of my other gigs, and working with individual wrestlers and stuff. It's just a really good networking show for that business. The thing is, spots, and I'm really worried for their business with this because even though they would probably win in litigation, they have so much money tied up right. I don't know if they could come out on the right side of this, if they even had to just go through litigation. It's the wrestling business. From what I've learned in my little dipping into the pool of wrestling business, the wrestling business is a lot like instead of drawing books, these guys are out there getting their body beat up. But it's the same touring. You start out, you make what little merch you can afford. And a lot of the independent wrestlers rely on WrestleCon to get into the business further in because they're showing up with a table, got their one little shirt and say, meeting people and high and networking and trying to get into the higher up business. Same thing we do with like an artist alley table. We do what we can with prints or with our books or both. We set up, we try to get noticed, we try to grow the business. But we're all road warriors. And what we're doing right now with trying to put on these little online Comicons and streaming, that's no different than putting on a wrestling show with an empty audience. It's just, we're seeing if it sticks.
That's what WWE's doing right now. Empty audience. Hey, Randy, give me your voice. Let's hear it. I'm gonna put the email they got up. I'm gonna put this up. Can you read that?
I sincerely appreciate your communication today regarding your client High Spots WrestleCon 2020 cancellation due to the impossibility clause of our agreement. We are respectfully in disagreement with your client's position. It is neither illegal nor impossible for WrestleCon 2020 to occur as previously agreed. I further add that Marriott International's cancellation and refund policy extends exclusion for groups booked during periods with special events, restrictions, or peak demands. I didn't quite follow that. I further add that Marriott International's cancellation refund policy extends exclusion for groups booked during periods with special event restrictions or peak demands. Okay. WrestleCon 2020 is a special event booked over heavy demand dates. Since our hotel is prepared to perform as agreed, your client's cancellation will cause damages to the hotel. The liquidated damages due the hotel is 80% of total revenue owed hotel, or $114,202. Right? Yeah. Yep. Sincerely, whoever.
Yeah.
See, they're not taking into account the fact that the state's going to shut them down during that period anyway and not allow any gatherings. So their legal department's just blowing smoke trying to get money.
Yeah.
Mhm.
in my
Sim?
opinion.
Save money where they can.
Hey, Sim, how's it going
Sim.
over there in Canada?
How you doing, bud?
Yeah,
What's up?
yeah, Mark says,
Blame Canada.
And we're
I
like,
can
well,
relate.
you know, we found the cure, and we're all just kind of waiting for the borders to open back up.
yeah. Mark
Mark
says,
Hodges says, I can relate. I had one of our hotels attempt to take us for $47,000. I fought with them for a year or so over the bill. Still had to pay $27,000 of it. 3 years ago, I spent $153K with that hotel. This year, $317.
yikes.
Is it
Yeah,
just $317
if you,
or $317K?
Probably $370. He was like, well, because they fucked up.
Yeah.
You guys screwed me over this time. I'm not gonna
Yep.
allow it. Yeah, Sim, how are you doing? How is everything going over there in Canada? A lot of our Canadian counterparts are having some issues. I know they're gonna close. They're talking about closing the border. Have they closed the border yet? I'm in Detroit.
No.
I mean, I'm
No.
close to Detroit. I should know that. But
I was like, shouldn't you know?
yeah. He said $317.
$317. Yeah, there you go, Mike.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's only because you had to.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Um.
No, they haven't closed the border, but nobody wants to fly. So, metro airports like a ghost town, and the bridges, you have 2, 3, 4 hour waits at customs in order to get through.
Speaking of closed,
Because they're all asking you that question and probably taking your temperature.
Have you coughed in the last?
Yeah, exactly.
You got a choice. You know, we haven't changed our gloves since the last guy. So do you want it orally or rectally?
Well, the cool thing now is they've had these infrared temperature readers for quite a while.
All
As
right.
long as you're not looking directly at the beam, they can shoot it at your forehead and get a pretty accurate temperature of your read on your temperature. So they're like,
radiation.
are you carrying a fever? No. Yes, you are. Turn the hell around.
Speaking of sickness and closed bridges and closed borders, and you know,
Hodges says they call every year hoping that we'll go back. No dice for me. Yep.
speaking of
Heard
all
me
that
once.
good stuff, time to bring up our sponsor for the show, Cultural Creative Studies. As always, go there and get yourself an education in art and design. Yeah.
Home of the high horse.
Yeah, home of the high horse. Just kidding.
I was like, I have an education in that.
Yeah.
Eric's got an education in it where, you know, he was teach other people.
Yeah, Eric's like, wait a minute, didn't I? Eric, did you teach at CCS?
Yes.
Yeah. So there you go. Cultural Creative Studies. Eric talk there.
CCS? Okay.
Yeah, get yourself an education because that's the way of the future.
If I go to art school, I can make $1 million.
If I get an art degree, I can make $1 million.
I didn't expect this to be a thing. You know, going in every day, it was like a club of doing jobs. You know, you had to work and it didn't matter how good you were. It was all the people who went out and drank together, did things. Has everybody figured out what I'm talking about yet?
That's
What, socialism?
It wasn't fair. So that's why I'm quitting my job at Disney.
Did somebody do that?
Yeah.
You know, I didn't watch that video, but I saw the
Oh my god, it's
thumbnail
so
for
funny. It's so funny. I quit my job because it was a job.
Wow. They got a question.
Quit it right when she was starting to make money. And they were, well, not when she was starting. So she started a side job while she was doing it. And she was getting into work super tired and super stressed and worn out and just didn't feel it. And they offered her a role in a supervisory edition. And it wasn't what she wanted. And so she quit. But she's decided that she's going to post daily updates or weekly updates on her journey as a self-employed artist only online on YouTube.
Yeah.
Eric,
Awesome.
this you got a question here from
her.
Indie Vote Radio.
her YouTube channel. It's her and her boyfriend or husband or fiance.
Indie Vote Radio question for you, Eric. It said that you mentioned that you wanted to work in a bullpen environment. You know, what's the drawback to working in those environments? I believe you said that you tend to run into people who aren't as serious as they should be. Or
Yeah, well, I mean, that's just been my education that's been forced upon me, dealing with people in indie comics. They're terrible business people, and this is for 3 times in a row, I've lumped in with, let's form a company, let's do this book, it's going to be great. So I'm jaded on the whole idea. Like, give you a good example. The all 6 of us here collaborating together could probably put a solid piece of work out within a month, like a standard comic solid within a month, because I believe that there's enough talent and there's enough business drive to do that. But in my experiences, the people that I have previously tried to work with, they've all become flakes. So, it's like, how do you test those waters? How many times do I risk working for free on something for this dream when the people who are sharing this vision with me aren't putting in the work?
And I'm afraid both Varian and Lola have dropped out of the room. So
and I started talking about work, and they left. What do you?
There you go. Were they taking it personal? Is that what it is? He's talking about us again.
The critters got him, man.
But, must have that those critters and the ducks.
On that, I hope that an outcome from this quarantining is that a lot of the chaff falls to the wayside in our industry.
Absolutely.
And I want to see, this. It's obvious. It needs to be a survival of the fittest thing. We need to pull through this, and let's have the good business people and the good that are both creative and business people. Let's be stronger at the end of this.
I had a conversation. I think it was Varian I might have been talking to, and it was just that, and I think you and I probably seen it from the same place, Eric. Is that's what happens. I mean, things like this, markets, and if you look at all this stuff happens, and usually that's the type of stuff that it produces is people who are in it for the cash grabs, people who are in it for all this kind of stuff that haven't put they're not true fans. They haven't put the love in, and they haven't put the sweat in, they haven't put the stuff in it. It's just, and if you're here because if you're not here because you like doing this and you're really into making comics, then that's what you're hoping. It's just something like this comes along, and what it does is those people who don't, they're not. This is too hard. I don't want to do this. It's not here, and you burn all of this stuff off, and then you're left with people who would do this type of stuff, whether there's actual money there or not. You know what I mean? And I like making books. I like writing stuff. I like doing stories. I like this stuff. So this is, I enjoy this. This is my thing. I've been doing, I've been in comics since I was a little kid. And so I agree. I think if there's positive to this, that's where I'm hanging my hat, that it burns off a lot of print vendors, people who are just, they're in it for the quick buck, and now the buck's not there. And it's like, well, what are you going to do? You know what I mean? And so
as far as the cons go, I think you're very right.
hoping.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, when I started out doing this back in 2005, I don't know if Randy, if you remember my old Melby comics and all that, when I started out in the Michigan scene, I was using student loan money to pay for printing to get my black and white floppies out, and barely making table and all that. I moved into fan art reluctantly because I needed to find a way to be able to make books and do these kind of cons and get my books out there. I needed revenue coming in. And once I started seeing that this made money, so with this money, then I can do this. 1 + 1 was 2.
Keep talking for a second.
I told Randy that. See, that's funny because I had got into, if you've been around since 2005, they had, Ape Entertainment used to put out. Okay, so Brent Irwin, we were friends with Brent, and my editor Marcus DeGisu. He had a little company, and we were doing work for Ape, and we were going to the shows and stuff. And I remember this. It was like, man, fan art was a no-no, dude. You couldn't do that stuff. Like, it just wasn't. And Artist Alley was filled with people who were making books, who were making stuff. I went away in like 2006, I want to say, and I didn't come back until like 2011. And when I came back in 2011, man, I was blown away. I was like, whoa, I like these people selling prints. I'm like, whoa, you're not supposed to be able to do that. You can't do that. And then, like you're saying, it's like, Well, now I want to get back into it, and it's like, well, shit, I can make good looking prints, and I can, and so like you kind of do that, but then after a while, it's like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to keep selling other people's IPs. I don't want to do that. I mean, it makes money. Don't get me wrong, but it's like, but I don't want to continue. If this is what this is, I don't want to do this. I don't want to just go travel around selling other people's IPs. If I'm not moving towards trying to make my own IPs, you know what I mean?
like,
I don't want,
My biggest income in shows has been coming from anime these last few times, and all the while I'm talking up with. I love engaging with the fans. I love talking about the ones that I really enjoy, and I love that they enjoy my work. And I'm hoping that I can get to the point where I can do my own, manga style book, and then have a built-in customer base. That's my constant motivation in this.
Cool. Welcome back, Marion.
Yeah,
Coonskin's back. What's up?
Return triumphant.
It's either the critters or Comcast is cutting my internet. I don't know which one it is yet.
Oh, Comcast is probably throttling your signal.
Yeah, they're upset about that German documentary you've been watching.
Yeah, we've been having that problem off and on here too, with our signal.
Remember to throw up your private internet access thing when.
Yeah.
You
were the one to talk. You just froze real good.
Did you guys get Mark's question?
What?
This is a question for you guys from Mark. Did you guys get that?
I missed it.
We missed it too. We kind of randomly switched over to things.
Mark's this question for you guys. We were thinking of doing an annual comic book for our chicken mascot. We would give to kids. How much would I budget for that, approximately?
Annually?
Would have to hire an artist. I would probably.
You gotta have a writer, you gotta have an artist, and you gotta have an editor.
May need somebody to script it. Yep.
I'd say minimum $5,000.
He said, say 1,000 copies.
Oh, for print production on top of that? I'm
What
just
would you
talking
do with
about
that? Sell them or give them away at the show?
Yeah, that's the thing.
So if you were giving them away at the show, you'd probably need more than 1,000. You're probably at 10,000.
Yeah, I'd say double it. Yeah, take your production cost for the artist itself, the art people, and multiply that.
I'd say reasonably, you could probably get each job done. Let's say this is a color book. Figure $200 per page for your colorist, $150 minimum for your pencilers and inkers.
Yeah.
And then you're printing.
Yeah, bro. That motherfucker's shit. I'm man. Like, I would never got God's hand made.
Like, don't tell my people that. Don't tell people this is standard.
I'm thinking, fuck God's hand. I'm about to go get a job. Fuck, if I can make that kind of money, shit, piss on this.
That's yeah,
Did I say I was doing my own IPs? Forget that shit, man. I'm about to start drawing.
I draw for other people. Screw it.
It's really kind of liquid, Mark. It all depends upon the talent that you find and how much they want to charge.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, I would think so. It depends on the style.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You go with a cartoony style, something that doesn't take a lot of detail and stuff like that. That's one thing. If you go with a more traditional superhero detailed style, then yeah, you're getting into 150, 200 ranges and stuff.
Yep.
If it's a cartoony book, you can get away with flats and stuff like that. So it's like, not a lot. It just depends. I guess it would just depend on which subject matter.
Put that back up.
So $700 a page for production. Does that sound about right? That's what he asked.
Yeah, sounds about right.
If you want good quality work, yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, but it's just our mascot. I'm like, yeah, but unfortunately, it comes down to time.
Look at Marion. He's the same way as me. He's like, whoa, damn, bro. Wait a minute.
Look.
My people watch this now. They can't keep throwing them numbers out.
Are you people trying to get me in trouble?
Now, did we lose Indie Volt Radio while you were?
We did not.
Garen's like, I hope so. I hope we did when he seen that $700.
Indie Radio is attached to other way. So,
let's do some math here. Let's say you spend 30 hours on a cover piece and you're getting $200 for it. How much did you make an hour?
Upkiss.
I'm bad at math. I'm horrible.
So, yeah, and you look at page a day. It would be a good benchmark for, so how much is this person willing to draw for
So it's
two
16.
$2 an hour for
16-page
8
book
hours.
plus cover work would be about 10K.
10K.
That's
Be waiting for that one.
Bring it. Finish it.
Ooh, them numbers.
It's
You gotta
like-
give it away, Mark?
This is gonna kill me faster than the.
I mean, honestly, Mark, if that's in your budget, you have a creative team here who's ready to go.
Yeah, right.
I'm sure we'd be willing to negotiate.
I got this utility bill that could really,
Yeah,
really use
right.
your.
Holy shit, man.
My inner Alex P. Keaton is
But
having
Mark
a heart
also
attack.
has a few College of Designs around him also down over in Grand Rapids. You could probably find college.
You could easily,
talent that would work.
you could easily quarter those numbers if you want to hire somebody who's just hungry and you're reasonably acceptable with their level of skill.
Oh, look.
Dude, we're all hungry. We're all
Look,
hungry.
Eric's over there like, you want to know how I got jaded? That's how I got jaded. That's exactly what happened.
Plus
I gave
printing,
some
yes,
hungry
plus
people a
printing.
chance, and they stopped getting hungry. They got fat. That's
Mm,
it.
yep.
They lost the eye of the tiger. They're like gone, man, gone.
Hey, if you go back
Plus
to that
printing.
Batgirl that I drew, I did that in 2 hours on a live stream. Imagine if somebody was paying me $500 for a cover minimum, what I would put out. I mean, come on.
I'm with you on that.
Plus printing. Mark, you're breaking my heart. Yeah, I mean, I guess the numbers do add up, but
Are you going to do this as newsprint? Because that is a really affordable way to get printed and have a made in USA
Yeah,
label on your
I
book.
would say that. Yeah, I would say if you giving this away, I would say
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
Why,
definitely.
there's no reason. Yeah, no reason not to.
Where's our newsprint thing? Show that. Throw that up, man. We mentioned it.
I don't have it anymore. But
You
broke my
lost it.
heart. Yeah, you broke my heart with that.
I would say between 5 and 10, Mark, plus printing, depending upon the quality of talent that you find and how much they want to charge you.
Yeah, I can't.
If you're gonna go skimpy on the pages, you got to go heavy on the cover.
Mm-hmm.
You know, get you something that's recognizable on the cover.
But again, I think he is trying to get it for the kids too. So that's one of those
Yeah.
other conundrums where they're like, "Oh, but it's for kids and we're giving away for free," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's the thing."
Yeah, find your emo artist and get them on the guilt empathy thing. Maybe they'll come down and
You
do
can
great.
pull that. There you go. That's for the children, man. For the
Think of the children's.
Do it for the children, sir. Please, for all the worth.
You know, there's a meme out there that says "F them kids." But
Sorry.
I sometimes have to wonder about that. I don't know if I can give the kids type of money. No. But I mean, if you're gonna do that, see, I'm used to doing books cheap. But like,
He's like, I get them really cheap. I'm like, shut up.
yeah. See, what you do is this. Here's what you do, Mark. You get yourself an artist, right? One of them newbies, see, yeah. And then you give them a fake name, right? You have them do all the art. Then you take the art and you're gonna do something called the legal term of it is called absconding. Okay, what you're gonna do is you're gonna abscond with this artwork. Okay, and you're gonna put in a different name, different title. It's gonna work out perfectly. And then
Maybe
when
you can set up a studio inside a studio.
and then just tell them it was exposure, and they should be happy to get it.
Exposure
go.
books. Exposure books.
Tell them you're gonna meet him at the con and just go to another con. You know, just be like, yeah, just meet me there.
I'll give you a
Just-
free table.
If I don't
You can
show
put
up,
in-
just wait. Wait by the bathrooms, and I'll be there. Just wait.
Indie Volt and its associates do not actually condone this behavior, and we are not responsible for those that do.
We'll
Our program is
try, we'll try.
newsprint. I would not have a problem with that, with a comic that we give away. Yeah, it works. That's what we do with the preservers.
Mhm.
My wife would never approve that cost. Yeah, yep.
Well, that's what I say to this whole thing. That's what I say.
He's-
And
He's just like, bury him.
yeah, I'm just gonna sit here.
Sounds massive. Well, no, massive worked for a lot less, but it was a long time ago.
I'm
Massive
just
comics.
Back when it was $20. Magnum owes $800 in parking tickets. That's a lot of money, guys. Quick. It's got to go do 3 days of casework just to cover it.
$100 for a sketch? Well, can't you just do it?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a sketch. It's only black and white. It's not color.
Septimus is out of his chair again.
Everybody's having their PTSD flashback here going, nope, nope, nope.
Let's make a bingo sheet for drawing books.
Here's
Here's all the BS.
I already
in
did.
here.
I
No,
just have-
you got the artist alley one, but we need the.
No, I made one for books too. I'm
Did
just
you?
trying to be nice. I've been trying to be focusing on the positive this year. I'm like, no, people are better inside. They really are.
You know,
2020 is making 2019 look pretty good right now.
Dude,
making
you ain't
2016
lying,
look
bro.
good.
Who knew that
You
would happen?
motherfuckers. What's up with the? Y'all figured out what's up with the toilet paper hoard? What's up with that?
At
50
Y'all having
50
Y'all having
bucks.
problems?
$50. I will
Bruh,
mail it to
I'm
you.
telling you, you ain't bullshit. I'm telling you right now. Easy with the whole roll, but here's my pitch to the 6,000 people. If you order a print from me today, I will send 5 sheets of toilet paper with it. Signed. You can wipe your ass with my name. It's beautiful.
Oh my gosh.
Man. It's a great experience.
Have you seen the meme where the comic shop put the sign out and says, "Out of TP, we have tons of '90s comics, only
I
$1."
know, I
You can
seen
wipe
that.
your ass."
Yeah,
The
I
real,
see
see
it.
the real story behind that ties back to social distancing. It does, because
Is that
one-
fun
the-
behind that?
No, well, not intentionally. But what happens is that in a crowd of 10 people, 10 to 50 people, one person sneezes, everybody else loses their shit.
That
That's
means
why
you would
there's
have to. Is that a pun now? It means you'd have
That's
to
a pun.
carry it
That
with
was-
you.
that was-
You'd have to
yeah.
be carrying it with you. I told Look, man, I'm telling you,
of
look,
them
I
do.
said,
They're
look,
all
Get your
fighting
shit
over it.
together,
Yeah.
America.
dude called me. Dude's like, hey, bro, you got enough toilet
and like
paper?
put it in a bag and stow it.
Yeah, I don't care. I told him, he said, you got enough toilet paper? I said, look, bro. I said, I got a poor man's bidet, bro. It's called the shower. So look, you know what I mean? I'll be all
At
right.
least you
bro.
didn't go to the
Straight up.
kitchen. That's at least you didn't.
When I was a child, we went to church and we still had an outhouse because our church didn't have indoor plumbing.
There you go.
I'm a survivor.
There you go, baby.
I tell you what, I was at
Believe that
Walgreens
shit.
earlier today, and they had 20 packages of Charmin still on the shelf from they just got a truck that day. I got 2. I brought them home, gave them to my wife. She was genuinely excited to see toilet paper. I'm like, how sad is this year?
Hell, man.
You know,
Go for it.
Lola came out of Walgreens today with toilet paper, and we've got enough. And I'm like, yeah, you know, you know. But then I'm looking at people like, wait a minute, this is only 2-ply. This ain't quilted.
Oh, my goodness.
Like now, come toilet paper
Bruh.
swabs. Yeah.
Bruh, that shit is getting bad in public bathrooms. Bruh, 2-ply? Y'all seen that shit in the public bathrooms now? That shit's like half-ply. It's almost like it's about a cent of the spider web. You can see through
That's
the
not
Is this
toilet
vellum?
paper, that's toilet tissue.
yeah, basically,
That
dude.
is.
I'm like, what in the shit? Yeah, it's vellum. I'm like, what in the fuck is this?
This has no absorbency.
None, bro. None.
The moisture
Sad,
in the
bro.
air just consumes it.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling y'all.
Dare you?
Fingerprints through the son of a bitch, man.
Mark says 2-ply works over here. By the way, has anybody looked at my screen?
Yes,
Well,
yes,
like
the
your
empty
screen.
chair.
Yeah.
Getting old.
Yes, I'm here.
You know, that empty chair is doing more work than you are.
It
right
is.
now.
It is.
Damn, bro. Throwing them daggers over there.
Yeah.
What happened there is a bridge, you know.
He is.
Burnt.
I'm gonna put up my my SJW background now. There we go. You guys talking to a brick wall now. I like the apples. I'm not listening to any of this.
With that,
Do
his
you not
personality
think that,
improved.
Can nobody tell me nothing?
And then now when you guys start talking about newsprint comics, I went for the brick wall. Just I'm not hearing this newsprint. Ugh, do it. Yeah,
Newsprint's the way to go.
I can almost smell it. You say newsprint, I can almost smell it. Yellowing paper. No
Yellow
paper.
ink
The
paper.
paper turns yellow and brown, icky.
That used to be the
Ugh.
good stuff back when we were.
But dude, we're not going out for pulp. You know, newsprints actually can hold color now.
Oh yeah, good and real
That's
well.
not the
yeah.
stuff Randy wants. He wants the good and cheap. He wants the the stuff that's gonna fall apart in your hand. Like I told you we got talking
Dude,
about.
there is a market for the stealing solo format. I swear that there is.
I have a
Get
question
a
for.
subscription service, slap a mail envelope on that back cover, and just mail it out to people.
I was confused
Them's
earlier
the
today.
good old days.
You guys know I've been picking up these DC.
Not as many as I have.
No. But I have a question.
Where's your
Why
Allegiance
the
Arts
heck?
books?
Those ain't coming out until April.
And they probably
End of
won't get
April,
to.
early May.
They probably won't get to the stores. Why don't I have two
Yeah,
Batman
probably
number
won't.
ones? They're completely different. That's that DC Comics for you. Two Batman number ones and completely different books. There you go. That's that
That's-
damn video.
They did that a lot for the Walmart crowd. There's two Wonder Womans, there's two Flashes, there's two Titans, there's two Teen Titans, there's two Titans.
And now there's zero Dan DDOs. So,
Zero Dan Didios. Yep.
Maybe
He is
zero
done.
DC Comics. Who knows?
Yeah. And did you guys hear today? Apple may be poised to buy Disney.
Jesus.
Apple
Yeah.
poised to buy Disney.
Yeah. I posted that article today on my Facebook.
I
You
don't
guys
know.
can-
Well, maybe because they're a little ticked that nobody's watching their streaming service.
Yeah, well, Disney stock took a hit apparently since Monday. It's been
How
dropping.
big of a hit?
Well, dude,
I know,
everybody's
it's so weird.
everybody's freaking stocks taking a hit the last 3 or 4 days.
That's what I'm saying. It's so strange. Like,
especially. Yeah.
Ford Motor Company is $4.50. I get that check from the government. I'm buying 4,000 shares
You ain't lying, dude.
Ford Motor Company.
Yeah. Disney might not be able to release the Black Widow movie right. Now, that's going to cost them $1 billion.
Mark put up a list of cons that have
alone.
been canceled.
thank you.
I'm gonna have to find that list of cons that have been canceled
Somebody
due to the
said
virus.
everybody else is drinking on the stream. You might as well too. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Nab that thermos. Rum? No.
Oh, I'll never tell.
Good iced tea.
That's it. Just
Yeah.
water. Just
Yeah.
water.
New Orleans iced tea.
Bit of breaking
There it
news,
is.
guys. Bit of breaking.
It's like a
news.
Long Island with real alcohol in it.
Your blood type A.
Come on, Varian. Don't do it, man. Don't
Bit of-
do it, bro.
Bit of breaking news here. Kansas is the first state to cancel school for the rest of the year.
Yeah, somebody was talking about that with Vegas.
Holy shit, brother.
Yeah.
They were like, well, what's the point in having like another month?
Are you sure that's right? Because I remember Florida canceled it earlier today.
Did they?
Yeah.
For the rest of the year?
My sister's down there. Yeah, she was mad because they canceled school for the rest of the year,
Oh, really?
K through 12. I think you're going to see that all over. It all depends on how long the virus lasts.
Now we get to see what would really happen and Thanos would have snapped his fingers. Because I'm pretty sure these kids are going to have to repeat.
It depends. They got my kid. I mean, they got my kids. They sending them their assignments and stuff.
Yeah.
They're doing
My
online
kid's
stuff.
been working on her own. She's doing good.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know, man.
Also,
But
she
the
just,
prospect of them being home for 2-3 months is, oh my god, oh my goodness. I
Either
was
that
over
or-
Katrina, bro. Shit.
I also
Either,
just, okay.
either that or there might be an early start to next year.
Yeah. I also
Still.
just got told that that apparently people with blood type A have a higher chance of catching coronavirus. So I don't know.
There's a
Blood
lot
type
of
A.
There's a lot of misinformation out there. You can't trust that unless it comes from a reliable source. Dude.
I knew one thing. One thing is completely true. And the one thing is completely true. And that's that. Well, two things. One, I don't think you guys understand the sheer panic. The sheer panic that went through the black community.
I
when
knew
Idris
you were
Elba-
going there. I
when
knew
Idris
you were
Elba
going
came out
there.
and said that he had
I knew you were fucking going there.
contracted coronavirus. The sheer panic and anxiety, because up until that point, we held until we might have been immune.
Oh, I heard all that shit, boy. Boy, your mother was like, look, man. Look, we immune, bro. We good. It's that melanin, bro. We good, bro.
Is that Grand Valley State University?
Grand Valley State University canceled for the rest of the semester today.
Yeah. So I mean,
Yep.
guys, and we're gonna hold you guys to this. I'm gonna if I can write it down. All right, Josh.
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? Will we have a San Diego Comic-Con this year?
Yes.
Josh is in the yes column.
Good.
Anthony,
What month?
it's July.
July. I'm gonna say no. Just to
Yeah,
say
right.
no. How about that?
All right. Randy,
At this point, I'd say it's 50-50.
you can't say 50-50. I just put down the rules. I just said the rules.
I'd have to agree with Josh that they would have it.
They're still gonna have it. Like
They're
that's not.
It could be virtual. Wait, does it count if they do virtual?
No,
San
no,
Diego
we're
doesn't
just-
want to let go of that money. That's what it is.
exactly. Like
They
I've
That
never
is-
heard of them
You're
ever.
talking billions there.
But they just shut down San Francisco, the city. Is
No,
on-
the-
Yeah.
San Francisco, not
The-
Sacramento.
the real question is Motor City.
No.
Cancel.
Who?
Cancel.
What is?
No, I'm saying it's going to.
Oh yeah, Lola thinks Motor City will be canceled. Eric, where you at? San Diego? Yes or no?
San Diego's going to cancel.
Yes, they will have it, but there's going to be they'll be doing something weird to manage how many people are allowed in the room. There's probably going to be it'll probably only be single day tickets. You'll only have a certain time frame that you can be in. They're going to probably try to manage it that way to minimize, because I think from now on large venues are always going to be doing extra steps to avoid outbreak and crap.
And Mark says, yeah. And then Mark posted something else that just broke my heart. It's not mine. My ex-wife Amanda Bynes is pregnant.
Why
So
does he have to tell you? I was going to tell you.
yeah.
that too.
Oh, my heart just broken like 1,000 pieces. And the problem is this: a couple years ago, I had no chance with her. Recently, her mental decisions, her bad decision making, has shown that I probably would have. And now it's too late because she's got like a Harley Quinn tattoo on her face. It's all bad. It's all bad. No Amanda for me.
A
Sorry.
Harley Quinn tattoo on her face.
She's got a heart on her face. She wouldn't got a
Oh, okay.
tattoo
I
on
thought
her
you meant
face.
like the actual Harley Quinn, the character on her face. I'm like, God damn.
Wear that for the rest of your life.
Holy shit.
No, she wouldn't got it. Mark says he thinks that Motor City will be canceled. That's, I hate to say it, but Mark, that sounds like a real possibility. I mean, the state and Randy coined it yesterday. Whitmer.
Yeah.
Um,
That's our governor. Whitmer.
As I was told, we should start calling her. As we start calling her, Madam Vice President. So,
Yeah.
it's coming. It's coming. I want to thank
That's what they
everybody.
said about Palin too.
Uh,
But anyway,
I want to thank everybody for watching. Where can we find you people? We'll start with Eric.
I am at Dreaded Dinosaur in all the usual social networking places: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And I will be getting back to doing my own draw streams here soon, as I get the workspace set up for that. And forward to it. And but Instagram is the best place. And I am open for commissions, so send me a DM.
Slide in his DMs with those commissions. They are open. Where can we find you, Mr. Josh? And why don't I have a working pen up here? Jesus. Okay.
Josh Woman. Well, you can find me at Art of Josh Lyman on Instagram as well as on Facebook. Twitter is personal, so it's kind of just me goofing off on that. But yeah, if you want to check out art, you can find me at Art of Josh Lyman.
Is there cancelable material up there, Josh?
No, it's not cancelable material. It's just me kind of lurking and just paying attention to everybody making all their complaints and, burning
that's
bridges.
cancelable. That right there is. You better get rid of that.
What? I'm just paying attention. I'm not cross sharing it. I'm
I
just
just
paying attention to it.
I just post recipes. Cookies.
Yeah, I post gradient hues from a generated Twitter that does like color palettes like every single day.
Randy just posts pictures of himself wrapped in newsprint. Yeah, it's like they're quite still. So those. Anthony, where can they find you at, sir?
You can find me at all the usual suspects: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, And you can look me up at Kid Destructo, or you can find me at kiddestructo.com. I am also doing commissions. But as I said, if you get a commission within the next week or so, I will add in some toilet paper, and it will be signed toilet paper, not the 2-ply, but the really good stuff.
Really?
So
we're talking about Charmin quilted?
Absolutely, baby. I got you. I got
right.
you. I got you, bro. I got what you need, bro.
He knows a guy that's over at a place.
You know, it fell off a back of a truck. You know what I mean? Over here. So I got a bitch over. You know, I got a little bit over here. You know?
Charmin plant's just up there.
Beautiful,
anyway.
beautiful. I mean, beautiful, like butter. You know what I mean?
He's got the hookup.
Buddy.
Randy, where can they find you?
Zim Geek Channel on YouTube. You can find me here at on Indie Vault. Our next broadcast is I might show up at Geekgasm tomorrow night. That's at 8 p.m. or
9 p.m.
9 p.m. Sorry, I'm ahead of myself. Or the Breakfast Buzz Thursday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Other than that, Zim Geek Channel over on YouTube. Please go over and subscribe and ring the bell. I promise there's new content that'll be up there shortly. And other than that, I am not available for commissions because I've got commercial art jobs coming out of my rear end. Thank you, and I'm trying to get a crowdfunding book together. So
I am available, but I'm being lazy. I'm working on other projects.
But thanks
for the projects that have been paid
thanks for thinking of me. If you were going to contact me for a commission, you are welcome to inquire, but more than likely you won't get it for a while.
Was there something?
Just being honest.
I do have a special going on my new online store at erichodson.com. Use COVID-19 as your coupon code, and you'll save 20% over any purchase $40 or more. That's a real thing. I'm not BSing.
That's awesome.
Do you see the
For real.
Do you see the ticker? Yeah, bruh.
No.
That is COVID-19. You can use that. And what's the name of your store, Eric?
Yeah, go to erichodson.com and click on Buy Art in the top corner.
Oh, no, I was going to put it on Eric Hodson. You said erichodson.com?
Yeah.
And then use COVID-19. And you get how much off?
20% off any order $40 or more.
All extra numbers typing.
Yeah, I will put that here.
A very fluid website, I will say that.
And people can see it. There we go. Yeah. EricHodson.com is COVID-19 20% off any order $40 or more. So yeah. If this would have been 9/11, it would have been towers down.
Building 10.
Oh man,
I'm not ghoulish.
You're going on the rails.
I was like, yeah, YouTube's gonna pull my recovery, let's see, COVID, Nazis,
Use code Saudi Pilot.
comics, Comicsgate, you know, covered all of it now. You know,
Just
like,
pull the whole damn video.
Someday, you know, I'm like, oh, maybe.
Find all those guys.
Was a CIA
An
plot.
inside job for 10% off.
Inside job.
There you go.
Aliens are real.
I do want to say one thing real quick. We had a guest on, I think it was last week, possibly a week before that, Johnny Segura with Pipe Dreams. Pipe Dreams got backed, like literally right before the cutoff. I'd say about 2 or 3 days, but we hit it. So I will be doing an exclusive for that. So that comes out. So if anybody who was on Indie Vault who backed that, you have my thanks. You have Johnny's thanks, of course, and the rest of us as well. So, hey.
Yeah, we see that. Yeah.
Yet another example of what is becoming known as the Indie Vault bump.
Indie Vault bump.
Which is a lot better than what the
Absolutely.
Indie Vault bump was before in bathrooms.
Yes.
It was people were taking bumps off
Damn.
of backs of toilets. And
A lot more than he had built that up to be.
I mean, I got to work for
You
free
need
now.
some of this for your mouth, man.
There you go.
I see that, man.
yeah.
Shit.
Indie Vault bump, by the way, on Indie Vault shop. If you use Indie Vault bump, you'll get nothing off any of yours. But you should get that Indie Vault Buzz box while it's still available. I will be closing out the orders for that this coming Friday. So definitely pick that up if you want a box. We're getting out of here. We want to thank everybody. Go back, God's Hand is still in demand. Go mess with Eric on Webtoons. Go sign up. Go subscribe to Dreaded Dinosaur Man, and we will see everybody very shortly Hopefully no more news breaks, and I gotta call Amanda Bynes and just make sure that's not my kid.
Rob, you're just in time to say goodbye.
Bye, Rob.
We're going off air. I will see everybody very soon. Until then, everyone, don't shake hands. We're not owned by Disney, not yet, but we are available. Apple.
If you shake twice, shake 4 times.
Take care, everybody. Thanks a lot for being here. Thanks for listening.
This bull.